Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 19th Annual Derby City Classic here at the Horseshoe, Louisville. We are playing right now on the 5x10 beautiful diamond table, and this is the Diamond BIGFOOT 10-Ball Challenge. We started with 16 of the greatest players on the planet. Well, we only have one more spot left to find out who is going to make it into the Final Four, all competing for the $32,000 purse. The winner of this match is also in the money. I know they're ready here. You're ready at home, so let's introduce the players. He got here by defeating Ruslan Chinahoff. He is the Japan Open champion, Hard Times champion, sponsored by Predator and Hustlin' USA from Quezon City, Philippines. Make some noise for Carlo Biado. And our competitor got to his spot by defeating the great Darren Appleton. He is the Euro champion winner, Lamia Open champion, sponsored by Jacoby and ABN Billiards from Moscow, Fedor Gorst. Gonna hand things over to our great referee, Mr. Ken Schumann.
Thank you, Derek. Go ahead, gentlemen, get ready, back for the break. It's our last match of the evening. It's a race to 11, rack your own format, winner breaks. There's a 40-second shot clock with one extension per rack. It's all ball fouls. If the 10's made on the break, it does not count. It spots immediately. Any other shot during the match, as long as the lowest ball is hit first, anything that goes in counts. This is not call ball in pocket. At this time, it's my pleasure to send it up to the booth to Mark Wilson and Scott Rabon. Take it away, Mark.
The classic youth versus experience on a 5x10. $4,000 to the winner between the 16-year-old Gorst and the journeyman Biado. I'm Mark Wilson, and alongside me with expert analysis is Scott Rabon.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Great to have you here. What should we be looking for here, this one?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, you nailed it. It's youth versus experience, and the big stroke of Carlo Biado and the kicking ability and the dynamic play versus someone who's young, youthful, but looks very solid in their, his approach to the table. He seems like he's a veteran. So, in a young package, so we'll see.
Put away Darren Appleton to get here last night, 11-9.
And exactly, slow, methodic play. He did the right things. He got a break or two here and there, and he capitalized when he got those breaks, Mark.
Spoke to his coach earlier today. He said there was a couple times where he could tell he was a little nervous, and he had real quick transitions on his backswing. Took a timeout, got it together, closed out the match, played great.
Yes, well, whatever he did, it sure worked, because look at him now.
He's won the leg. He's breaking. 7-4 right behind the head ball.
Look at the cue ball, Mark. Look at the control on the break.
That's something. Looks like he's going to wind up with the 3-ball in the corner pocket, 4 cushions. He's got it, open layout.
Well, here's a situation where he's got 2 plays here. One is he can stun high out of the corner where the 4 is, just narrowly missing the 4. Spin 2 rails down here, just past the 6, okay, for a shot at the 2-ball into the corner there. The other play would be to drive this ball with a high inside slightly and come down near the same area. Do you see something different? Or
No, great call there. Both shots just a little iffy. He went with the inside play. One nice thing, the 8's hanging in the corner pocket, so if he gets a little out of line on the 4, he's still got a pretty big target to hit.
That's right, and it's a correction ball. It's a ball that can get you back in line when you've had a little stress from a few shots, and all of a sudden.
He can play this, too, and develop the 6 here, too, and take it away, make the rest of the run out a little bit easier. And you can do it fairly confidently.
So you're suggesting he bumps the 6, go to the, drive it?
Yeah, if he can, that'd be great. Makes the rest of the rack play well.
Here's an interesting play, Mark. He could play this even real first if he chose, just to make sure he gets separation. But, yeah. You know,
The soft speed, right? I think the rail first is a great play if he doesn't have to deal with that 7 ball down there. But if it gets just a little bit hot coming off of there, he can get behind the 7.
Right. You ever seen someone go to play a combination like that and they roll up on the head ball? You know, and they don't keep separation from the ball. So that was the only way that he might have considered that option. Close to his work here, but everything looks good. Just center of table. There's another situation where you can stun that ball out 1 rail, or you could play it high inside 2 rails to the same position. Has he off-angled himself any? I think he's good enough here to drive this ball to the bottom rail and then straighten up on the 6.
Right.
Or is that angle available?
I'm pretty sure it is, but he'd prefer to not get straight in on the 6. He needs a little angle to drift across for the 7. Ooh.
Yeah, I thought he had sufficient angle to do that. He's still a little, there's a little cut here, but, you know, he looks really solid. I don't think he's going to have a problem just pouring this ball into the corner.
Certainly missable on a 5x10, but it has a positive expectation. He probably makes this shot excess 80% of the time.
Yes, and if there's a nerve-wracking shot, this rack, I think this is it. I mean, it would be for me. You know that when you hit this one, okay, now I'm out. You know, if you happen to pocket it.
Well, he will just center ball hit, or just a little bit below center, bring the cue ball to the center of the table. Played it with pace, missed it by quite a little margin. I don't know if he hit the point on the way by or he just overcut it that much.
I think that was in an effort to move the cue ball, you know, and it's a situation in our match last night that we did, Mark, where we noticed that the players were consistently, when they missed a ball, it was by overcut, you know, and it was usually in an attempt to move the cue ball, you know, instead of playing the angle that was there, and just, he fell on the 50-yard line where he couldn't really pick one or the other, and he ended up kind of in between.
Not to sound condescending, I don't mean it that way. It just felt to my eye like the last stroke was longer than any of the preparation strokes, so he didn't really use what he measured and then added a little something extra at the end. I think that might have contributed to his undoing. Biado falls just a little short, but makeable.
This is a shot that, because of where the 10 sits, I wonder if he's going to just stay on the upper table side of the 9 and accept the cut on the 9 and just work the cue ball to get back to the 10. Instead of come across the table to the low end. Well, he's looking from the low end. You know, looking at it now, I think he can get back to the low end of the table here for a straighter shot on the 9. It appears that way now. Well, he decided to do the same thing, and you notice again, when he misses a ball, it's an overcut. You know, and that's all to move the cue ball. You notice he went to a couple of rails there.
Yeah. It was odd. If he was trying to get to the other side of the side pocket, you'd think he'd miss it fat rather than thin. But he did have a very quick transition as well, so that might have contributed to some of the inaccuracy. You would not expect him, even with a quick transition, to miss it by that dimension.
I think from here he goes after this, bank this ball on the side and spin around 3 rails and go ahead and win this game. You know, the Banks tournament is going on right now, finishing up, and he's been playing a lot of Banks. I think this is one you've just got to go for. You know, the old adage, if the safety is harder than the shot, you may as well go down with the shot, because you still have a chance if you miss the shot of winding up with a little lucky roll or a safety, or
That's right.
leaving them difficult.
Well, he was really locking in on the angle. He stood on that line for just a little while. So he's playing offense. Fell short. Is it going to expand and 2-rail it? Nope.
How about that roll? Oh, my goodness.
Yep. Yeah, that's a useful result. This is a awkward shot to try to kick safe. He's going to have to arc in here, try to thin the 7 to the center of the end rail and have the cue ball clip the 9 and come back out.
Exactly. That's a great call. Yeah, kick it to the head rail and leave distance, separation, and this is not a tap-in by any means.
From where he was at, this is a reasonable result. Yeah, I did not like his approach. I'm glad he got up off that. It seemed a bit hasty. Because this is, if you make it, it's a hard shot, but it's also a winning shot.
The beauty of this play is oftentimes when a player, if they miss this ball, it ends up back across the head rail sometimes, or it can leave a lot of distance because you can afford to leave the cue ball down here near the spot or even below.
This is certainly a case where you prefer to overcut it.
And just diced it in beautifully. The young guys, man, they seem to just pour those balls in like that. Those thin cuts along the head rail, it's like it's just effortless.
And he got through the opening rack jitters, leads the match 1-0.
Fedor Gorst, the young Russian, 16 years old. I was talking about him earlier, in preparation for this match. I mean, I wonder what the previous 4 years have been like for him in his training back home.
Yeah, he's a serious guy, too, when you talk to him. He's all about it, and he's older than 16 in terms of his maturity level. I was pretending to shave, hoping to borrow Dad's car, maybe kiss a girl.
Yeah, right.
He's beating Darren Appleton.
Yeah. Working on winning a major tournament with the best in the world. Small stuff.
Right. All right. Second opportunity to break.
6 and the 8 straight at the sides. He got the 6 down. The 8 ball hit the point.
Another great break as far as the cue ball result is, too. Looks like he has a shot here.
I think so, too. It
Yeah.
looks like, a layup to start here with a pretty routine, easy shot on the 1. And 2 balls out in the open. The good thing for him is that he has a good starting play here. He can cue this ball well. He's going to have to pull his ball, I'm afraid. And I'm afraid he's going to move the 3 over some. Yeah, see, that's what I'm worried about. Now he has to come from the 2 back to the 3. That 5 may play fairly easily if he's able to really work this cue ball. I would not want to have to shoot it from far down table.
No, and the 5's far enough from the cushion that it's not a huge target. It's not as generous as it might be if it was just, let's say it's 3/8 of an inch from the rail. If it was just half of that distance, it would be a much bigger margin of error.
Yeah, so it makes it so easy to play, and if it's off the rail a half inch, then you can hit behind the ball in the crevice there and
Right.
miss it by an inch. Expect a big stroke here, Mark. Well, it was a big stroke.
Yeah, you called it. Big stroke hurt him there. Ball in hand on 2 certainly makes the 3 and the 5 play much easier. Because you can get the cue ball right down there, and I fully expect him to play the combination rather than try to get in between them or cut the 3. 7 ball's right next to the 4, so if he can play the combination, once he gets to the 4, then the 7's right there. The rest of the rack plays pretty nice. Very reasonable to fall straight in on this combination from here.
No, it looks like he is almost driving this ball forward. We'll tell by how high he cues the ball. But like he's trying to play position to the 3, and cut the 3 along the head rail.
No, I think he wants to get on the other side. He just felt like this was easier, but there's no reason to
that.
come up short.
Well, I mean,
Inexcusable come up short.
The thing is with me is why play that first rail? When all this open space is available, why not just stun down to your target in the first place, Because your cue ball's out of radio communication, so to say, for a good little while. Then it has to come back in.
Right.
And he's gotten a down table angle here, so if the 3 parks on the 5.
Yeah, there's no reason to come up short. You want if anything, you would like the other angle because it gives you a lot of control. This angle, like you said, it's a down table shot and it's tough to control. The good news is this comes up all the time in rotation, and that's what these guys play. So, very good at controlling the secondary object ball. Look at that shot.
Oh, and straightened it up off the second rail with some inside English. Okay, well, that's a recovery shot. He's gotten back in line here when he was a little out of line.
Shouldn't have had to make something that difficult out of ball in hand, however.
Well, it looks to me like he doesn't have to necessarily get straight in on this 4 to get on the 7 after that. He can keep an angle on the 4 and just nudge into the 7, but it looks like he's going to get perfect.
Gorgeous speed there.
Yeah, it really was.
He's over the 8. He may need the bridge on this, to tell you the truth. We're playing all ball fouls. That's only occurred one time. We're also playing the 3 foul rule, and that has occurred one time in this tournament.
Ken Schumann just studying the 8 ball, making sure it doesn't get nudged with the cue or the bridge. Nice pure play there.
Good shot. One of the Accu-Stats streaming customers had texted us and wanted to know what it takes for them to get a guy in a suit and tie to hand them the bridge periodically. I said you can either have Trump-like money or you can be a world-class player. That's what it takes.
2 good options, yeah.
Yep. Missed it by a mile, too.
Well, the trend continues from yesterday, what we were talking about. You know, it's an overcut ball in an attempt to go to a rail. There's something psychological in that for all pool players. You know, when we overcut a ball to attempt to get to a rail.
Yeah, Biado stuttered in his match yesterday. He ended up winning, but it was kind of messy like that. He'd play through all the rack and then give something away at the end.
He missed a very similar 10 ball to close out the match. Now, he still ended up winning, but...
Yeah, well, that 10 ball, the cue ball was on the rail. Here, he was wide open spaces. That was just something. He moved his bridge, or at the last minute, he tried to get a little more angle. I don't know what he did there, but it was something peculiar and unfamiliar. He's a better player than that. You don't see that happen very often. Nevertheless, 2-0 is our score. Gorst over Biado.
Well, the players here are playing to move into a position to get 4,000 and then have more opportunity to move into the big money. But this match is worth 4,000.
Rack 3, signal breaking, leads 2-0.
Okay, let's keep our eyes on the 4 ball and the 9 ball here, directly behind the 1. Side pockets. And of course the 2 and 3 going 4 rails to the lower corners here. There they go. Got hit.
Yeah, he's made a couple balls. He's going to have a shot. It's not going to be easy to get on the 3, but he's at the table and playing anyway. He's going to have to come up and check the cross-side bank angle. And that would be the most routine way to get a offensive shot going.
I agree, Mark. The bank is definitely a pretty easy play to get there. But then he's going to have to work the cue ball off of the bank to fall on the next ball. Sometimes I've seen guys, some of the more aggressive players, elevate and draw this ball with bottom left into the 3 and just take their chances. But this is definitely a simplistic play. He's way short. He's way short of his intended target here. Now, if he's, I think he had a match with John Brumbeck earlier in the banks. Now, John Brumbeck may be the best banker in the world, so maybe he picked up some tips. He may be able to stiff this ball, stiffen it,
Yeah, it's.
But I think he was more likely to play safe than try to stiffen this bank.
I don't think this is the shot to stiffen it. Well, it looks like he might be thinking that way.
He tried it, and
It'll
how about a
back
reverse?
up. Yeah, it will back up sometimes. Well, Biado is delighted that the 3 ball didn't go in 2 cushions. He's got a chance to make up a little bit of ground here. Just gave away a game.
Well, it has to be in the back of his mind a little bit. He just had an unforced error to tie this match. And that's, almost went to 3-0. At least he's got a chance to participate here and maybe level it out just a little bit. Well, the shots are so hard. When you have to jack up the back end of the cue and still be accurate. The best in the world that I've ever seen with elevating the back end of the cue is Shannon Dalton.
I'd have to say Earl Strickland, but
Yeah.
Dalton was second in my book.
Okay.
Yeah. And I always kind of read it like this. For every degree that you elevate your cue, you lose a percentage of accuracy. So you just elevate 10 degrees, you've lost it 10%. And then it seems like it increases as you go above 25 degrees.
It's like it's exponentially, going up.
Well, he's played position for yet another bank.
I like to let this ball go with extreme outside English. I like to strike my cue ball. If you use the clock system, I would be reaching my tip towards 10 o'clock. That's more side spin than 11, where I might run into the 7 ball over there. Go around. Oh, he drew the ball. Oh, my goodness.
Hugged the rail. You cannot go after that iffy shot and then lose the cue ball. If you make that ball, you have to win the game. Otherwise, it's just too much gamble.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing a tester shot, we like to say, as it is.
Right.
So if you're going to go down with this shot, that's fine. But, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot when doing it. So,
getting back to what you just said, you like to play it with what o'clock? Not 11 o'clock, but
reach
what?
about a tip and a half towards 10 o'clock. From the center of the cue ball, reach. So it's more side spin than top spin. See, 11 would be mostly top. That way you get around the 7, you go 3 rails, even around the 6, and get out in open spaces. I think that's the way Jason Shaw might play something like that. Let the ball go a little bit, We've seen what he can do with this 10-footer. Well, here it's all about connect the dots. Just make this ball on a medium speed lag, and he's on the 9.
Bounces off the second cushion. Preserves a little bit of angle. Let's just stun the cue ball up to the head spot. Foot spot. Head spot. Yeah. Very good. Recover a game here. 2-1. Biado behind, but breaking.
I really enjoy watching the people and the connections that these guys make when they come to the big tournaments, the international events, or when they're around one another. The Filipino players, they really support one another, and sometimes they'll all get around and watch their buddies play in a group.
They do.
They've really made so many friends over the years. At first off, we had, of course, Efren come over, but even before him, as the leader of the invasion, Mr. Jose Perica. But they've really become friends with so many of the American players and fans, and so it's great to come here and these guys rub elbows and get to know these guys.
Right.
And they've got friends that they travel around the country with, American pool players, and it's really a cool dynamic watching these guys.
Yeah, it's such a hard trip. You always wonder when it'll be Efren's last, because it's basically a 20-some hour travel day to get here, and then you're playing for relatively modest proceeds, It's really a tough thing to do.
Well, my friends who have never seen big table pool, I've planted them over there in front of Efren's table. They're watching him right now.
Oh, very good. All right, Biado set the break here in game number 4. 7 and 8 right behind the head ball. 8 found the side pocket. 3 ball comes and clips the cue ball down table, taking it away from the 1. Yeah, I considered that I was blessed and honored to play in Efren's era of his prime. He taught everybody quite a bit about the sport.
This looks to me like he banks it straight back down the center of the table towards the 6, 10, and 2 down here, and then takes the cue ball behind the 5, 7 like that. And a lot of traffic in between.
That was a good shot. Keep the pressure on.
Well, Mark, they say pressure busts pipes, right?
Yeah. I think he feels like he's given away a game or two already, and he definitely doesn't want this guy to get momentum and get his confidence up any further.
Oh my goodness, what a great hit to get contact, but just a tough break. And what do they say? Them's the breaks.
Yeah. Solid impact on the one. He even was fortunate to make a ball, but unfortunately the cue ball fouled it in.
Well, this is a kind of a rack that I really like. You know, you don't really have anything tied up on the rail, and everything is pretty much centrally located. I mean, look at the 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this is kind of just like a Tom Cruise pool here. Connect the dots. Everything leads into the next. Doesn't really have to get selective on position for a few shots here.
Being said, it's very important that you remain disciplined and not play balls randomly because it's going to conspire against you as the match moves forward. So you're still playing precision pool. Many of us are lazy and take a holiday and just let a couple balls go randomly, and then we end up having to shoot a hard shot that we shouldn't be shooting.
You just used a phrase that I heard many, many years ago, maybe 20 years ago. A pool player, famous player, you know, one of the old timers, lost a match. He said, it's like they were all in on it. The balls were conspiring against me. Okay, great angle here to play this either way. He can smooth stroke it straight back up the center of the table for the 6 in the bottom right corner as we look at it here. Or he can stun to the rail, which is, I think, a more consistent play than that arcing, hooking draw. Stun it to the rail with a half a tip of left English. Yeah, like that.
Not much to do with this shot. Just let it go to his left, just a hint. And that will play fine. This allows him to go to the long rail and bounce out just a little bit.
This is one of those shots that players feel like they're on the 50-yard line. I think it may be a hair steep to try and hold the ball for the 10 in the same corner, so he can come all the way across the grain of the table and spin back out, or he may just be able to tuck this in a low left spin. Let's see what he chooses. He did, and he hit it great. I mean, that was beautiful.
Yeah, he really killed the angle there, held it.
You know, in his match yesterday, he missed one of those trying to go across the table and back with speed, you know, because he overcut the ball. But the way he played it was great. Nice and soft.
No, that ties up our score at 2 games apiece.
I really like how nicely these balls rack with this Outsville rack, the Accu-Rack. It's just beautiful. I mean, just a light touch here and there, and they're frozen. You don't have to stand over the ball with the triangle and study everything and see all the little gaps in there.
Completely agree. Speeds up the tournament. Less stress on your back. A couple of these guys don't really. You're supposed to push them forward just a little bit to load it. Then they will settle back. But when you look down with a new set of balls, they're all frozen. Nearly impossible to do, even with new balls with a wooden rack. A little massage there on the one, the external balls. Ken Schumann peeks in. You satisfied? That was just cursory. He actually needs glasses to see if they're touching. Good power break.
7 and the 8, they both hit opposite points. 8 hit the 4 point, the 7 hit the close point. And look at this, the 6 ball hanging up. Biado is leaning. Come on, ball, turn over. You know you want to go.
Yeah, he hit them pretty darn good, and the cue ball did not have any excessive spin on it, so that's a good square hit.
Well, here's a shot that's questionable. You know, I don't know that there's a lot of future in trying to back cut this one on the side and go into the face of the 4 because of where the 2 is down table. Wondering myself if there's a safety play. I don't see him going for any bank here. Oh, what was I wrong?
Yeah, that wasn't the right speed to play the bank because you want to play it so you can go in 2 cushions back across the corner. Plus, the bank is easier to judge at a higher velocity. You can see it really warp long once it came off with the backspin. On the cue ball, you could have stunned it back there, played with the pace. It might even clip in off the 3 if you really shorten it up. Just hit it. It was almost like he bet the whole game on a rolling bank cross corner on a 5x10.
Yes, that's what my concern was with. I didn't see him shooting at the bank like that, and you know, I think if he missed it, he wanted to miss it to the pro side instead of the end rail, like you suggested. Miss it short, and it goes back across the head rail, maybe.
A lot of times it settles on the head rail too. He tried to play it off the back of the 3. Another shot that was ill-fated on a 5x10 just because there's so much more room and distance to get to those contact points.
Well, good news here for Fedor Gorst. He's got a great layup shot, and it leads nicely into the 2. He's not going to have any problem getting on these first few balls here.
And he's got his vacation ball that you always like there over the side pocket later in the rack. You said you can get yourself back in line. That's the way you like it.
That's right.
I think we all do.
It's the old Kermit the Frog green 6 ball right there in the side pocket.
Uh-oh. Yeah, he mishit that. He hit it a little bit too low, I think. He still has the shot, but the cue ball trajectory was not right.
Yeah, it's like it had a little right on it to straighten up and possibly get behind the 9 here, but he's okay.
Yeah, he is only 16 years old after all. So
That's right.
we'll give him a little latitude on our criticism, that's for sure.
4 plays in the right side, so he can drag this ball high out of the corner, and that's perfect. Love the speed there. Got away from the second rail so as not to be kind of trapped up and having to elevate or just it's just generally uncomfortable sometimes to bridge that. He looks fairly straight on this 4, but I think that there's a sufficient angle here to really pop this mark and maybe go to center table. Can you tell? Yeah, man, it looks really straight from the monitor.
Looks like there's just a hint of an angle. Looks like he's going upstairs here to travel the cue ball. Yes, he did. He's very happy to have the vacation ball there on the side pocket right now.
Yeah, so he can really just cinch this ball and lay it down and doesn't have to worry about really pulling the cue ball back for position.
He can work hard on that ball to get back in line. Make sure you make the 5. Looks like he'll just super thin this in soft speed.
I would say he wants to catch about, a fifth of this ball maybe, and slide angle getting away from the rail and then expanding back towards center table. Yeah, that's what he's done. It's going to be very good if the speed holds.
Well done. Looks like he can almost just make a stop shot. Maybe just stun ahead just a little bit. I don't think I would draw it back in between the 10 and 9. Too speed sensitive. He was able to stun it over just a hint. Completely safe. Checks his alignment that he would like to see. Like to get a stop shot into the side pocket. It will only involve about a foot of movement with the cue ball after he impacts the 8.
Perfect. It's nice to have that rail side angle with just a little tuck draw and a touch of left spin to help pull up the rail. The two work together, your draw and your left spin here. They complement one another and flow nicely. It looks like he rolls up here and shoots a 10 in the opposite corner.
Good job there. Got through a nice rack. Fedor Gorst, 3. Carlo Biado, 2.
Well, I'm looking out across the event center here, Mark, and I see the 2016 BIGFOOT champion banner with Jason Shaw. And I'm wondering if this young man could be up there for next year. Let's get that banner so next year we see him in the rafters here.
That would be incredible. It'd be very good for our sport.
It would. It's great. We have all these banners of all the past years. I see 1999, Troy Frank, and just so many players, and the Efrons and the Tamika Eminence and so on, Shannon Dalton. It's just great. We see Shane Van Boning here as the 9-ball champion in 2016. Alex Pagulayan won the 1 pocket last year and the all-around. And the Banks champion was John Brumbeck, Kentucky's own John Brumbeck.
Yeah, he played great. When you look at on the other banners, you'll see Efren Reyes' name up there quite a few times.
Yes, there's 1 pocket. It's all Efren all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Efren's won his share, and it's unbelievable to win that many of these events in a race to 3 1 pocket.
Right.
The best in the world.
I think he's been here like 11 or 12 times, and he's won it 5 or 6 times.
It's just uncanny. Okay, here's the situation. Mark, do you like thinning the 1 and taking your cue ball 2 rails behind the 5-2, or do you like banking the 1 towards the head rail where he is and sending the cue ball down table?
If I can get the distance, I like the second option, but if I lose control, I definitely don't want to sell out the 1.
That's right.
But distance will be more of an ally for you than getting just behind the balls and leaving the 1 close by. He went this route.
Well, he's hit it pretty
Oh,
well.
great shot. Okay. That's a good result.
So you're saying you like the option 1, right?
I did, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I do now. If you can get this, I do, yes. I was thinking it was going to stay along the long rail over there, and just too easy to hit. This is much better here. Biado's in a pile of trouble here, this rack.
Well, this is the Filipinos. It's what they do well. I mean, they kick, and he's probably gonna hit this. If not, I don't expect him to miss this by more than a half inch. Yeah, or dead square on the button.
Right on the button, yeah.
Well, does the 1 play in the side? I mean, it pays to hit him. Sure does. Carlo Biado.
Yeah, the 1 on the side really doesn't have much value, it doesn't look like, just because the 5 is slightly obstructing the pocket down there. So to play the 2 past the 5 from super long range off angle will not be easy. I think we're looking at a safety circumstance here.
Uh-oh. That 1 better travel. It better go.
No, just a hint of inexperience. That shot, you have to prioritize one aspect to the other. He was hoping to get the cue ball behind the 3, but he needed to be primary has to get to be the 1 ball on the end rail, even if you leave a hit at it.
Well, the only thing that could be difficult about this shot here is if he's uncomfortable bridging closely to the 3. But other than that, I don't think he's going to have any worries. I think he's going to spin the ball 2 rails, possibly even hitting the 6. But he's got to take some of the slack out of the speed of the shot.
Yeah.
So a good draw, good low left, sort of a kill stroke. Watch it kill out. Okay, and 2 rails, missed the 6. He's great.
Yeah, the slight obstruction that the 5 presents when you're this close and got the capacity to get your bridge hand down on the table makes this far more playable.
He's just got to pick a side of the 8 here, really, and he's trying to get comfortable. Has to really stretch to reach this.
That's a good shot. Useful shot. He was on 1 foot. Had to pound it in there just to travel the cue ball 3 or 4 feet.
Routine play here. Not much can go wrong. He just needs to make sure he comes down between the 6 and the 10 here. If he happens to hit this with a little right, it could come back outside of the 10, so I think he'll straighten it up a little bit. See the direction it's going? That's a shot that's a little deceptive as a player sometimes. You have to put a little more stroke to that than you think sometimes. Mm-hmm. And then there's the dynamic of we're playing on a 10-footer now, and it's not the usual stroke we're used to.
Believe it or not, the thin cut actually helps him here because he can just play it with a mild speed and go back and forth. He does not want to get straight in on the 7 anyway, so just 2 cushions and then halfway back across. He's playing at 4 cushion or 3 cushions, and that works fine too. The thing with this is now you can get that angle where you draw it back and lay on the side cushion, and that makes it the rest of the rack play just a little bit more challenging.
We see the angle there. I think he's able to play this and still keep the cue ball away from the rail, don't you? I mean,
withdraw not much, but yeah, it depends on what part of the pocket. He may have to cheat it and hit the long rail just lightly on the way in.
Right, I think the pocket's going to accept it here. Oh, he shot it right in the heart. Still got it there.
Yeah, very good.
Mark, I think you're going to have to play this event next year. We'll handle all this commentary. You just get down there and you just get the money. We can chip in and we'll put you in.
Yeah, I still enjoy playing. That's the one detriment to coming over here. I was just starting to get some opportunity to hit some balls, and then now I go 10 days without hitting a ball, which not really I like to play every day.
Well, you've got a bunch of great people around you, so you always have some competition. You know, coach at Lindenwood University, and the likes of Landon Shuffick, and just a bunch of champions. So good for you. Wish I had champions to play with.
Great kids too.
He has a little concern here. It's a little back cut. He took a moment to check it out.
Perfect. Now our score is 3 games apiece. Biado chopped through a nice, challenging set of balls there. Yeah, talking about the Lindenwood program, that is my shining moment there because I'm so proud of those kids to be a team. We insist upon impeccable character, and that's our number one mandate, not your skill level. We're going to make you a good player after a period of time, but you're there to get an education, and it's hard. They put a lot of hours into that. But they also work and train very hard and set a great example, and they're going to be leaders of the sport in the future. We have, 7 or 8 kids that are just unbelievably good. Landon Shuffitt is the most known, but he's not necessarily the best player on the team. And we have 1A and 1B. Sharik Syed from Singapore is right there with Landon, and then we have another boy that's a freshman. He's just a half a step behind Chris Robinson.
Yes. I think I got to do a match in the booth, some commentary with Sharik Syed playing, and I was impressed. Mm-hmm. I was impressed. And I knew that about you, Mark, that you look for guys with good character, and that's big.
Yeah, irrespective of what your skill set is, it really doesn't matter. We're not worried about that too much.
7 and 8 tracking towards the sides. The 7 went down.
He really squared him up there, too.
9 ball leads nicely into the 10, so.
A little disappointed he didn't get something a little better than this.
You may have noticed the tool that Ken has there, Ken Schumann, to remove the rack. He puts something up against the 10 and it marks its position. So then he can take the rack out, moving the 10. Mm-hmm. And then holds that in the position, puts the 10 right back, and it's in the same place that it was. It's got a little oval in it, I think, and the ball sits right up in there nicely.
Yep.
So it's just a way to mark it, put it back exactly as it was.
Look at that shot. Knowledgeable. Don't move the 1 much. He can't play it in the corner. Tried to introduce the 6 ball as a problem. Didn't quite make that, but very difficult 1 ball to get here from this range.
Oftentimes when you have a difficult shot like this, just, to get to a ball, you look for something like all this traffic over here, like that. I don't know if he got the safety, maybe in a window, but it makes it so much easier if you have some traffic you can go towards when you have a difficult play.
Looks like Biado might be able to see enough of it to play the 1 on the 9, but the 1 ball is easy to escape and get lodged up along the long rail there.
Yeah, and with the 5 there, I'm wondering if we won't see him play a safety, possibly by cutting the 1 between the 9 and the 5, and then go under the 3 to the bottom rail, possibly bringing the cue ball back with some top-to-top right behind this 2 and 4 again, possibly even the 8.
He keeps looking at the 9. I believe if he plays this, it's going to be super soft.
I don't think he wants the combo on the 5 after. I think he may go safe here with the cue ball. No, you are right, Mark, but let's see what happens with the 1 on the 5. That was my concern with shooting it that way.
Could not have got any uglier.
Yeah, I really thought he would have played the safety and taken the cue ball back here behind the 4, 2, 4, possibly even 8.
Yeah, he might have been erring on the side of too much aggression there, because now he's going to have to play a kick safe, and it's iffy. Oh, what a nice shot. What a nice shot.
That was expertly played right there.
Yep, that's
Nice.
the old savvy, experienced player right there. Rail first, very thin, confidently struck. Many of the top American players do not have that shot in their repertoire either. That's billiard savvy right there. Doesn't look like he has the 1 ball. It's hard to tell exactly from here. I think he can hit it. I just don't think he can make it.
That's the case. I agree. They say distance is a great equalizer. Leave this distance and see if you can balls behind other balls and just make it difficult, and it makes their follow-up safety difficult.
What a great shot that is. Look at the speed. End rail to end rail. Even if you leave that for the best player in the world, and he makes something happen from here, you have to go shake his hand and
That's
say,
right.
Hats off to you. Put everything into it and force you to play a fantastic shot. It's even more effective on a 5x10 too.
And look at the proximity of the cue ball to the rail. He can't see the bottom part of the cue ball if he wanted to really draw the ball or hit it firm and stop the cue ball or stun it off of the 1. Heck, you can't even see the 1.
Like to hit this 2 cushions. And he does.
He almost iced it right in there.
Yeah, that's very tough. Because of the 4 and the 8, you can go after this if you go soft speed.
I think, well, he is going for the safety. Oh, he's got the double kiss, but I think he's gotten away with it somewhat. If there's an edge of this 1 here, Gorst is going to put him back behind the 4-8, and he's, going to be in trouble.
Doesn't look like there is an edge,
Yeah,
though.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
If he could hit just a 1/5 of this ball, I think he could draw it with a low right and come back behind the 4 and the 8. But, yeah, I don't think he's got that much of the ball.
Right. And you hate to have to execute a stroke like that. You got to bend it and then have the right speed to get the right direction. You can scratch with that shot, too. This is going to work
Look
out
at
good.
this. Oh, my. Oh, what's going to happen?
Well, he's delighted to leave it as tough as this is.
Little smile from Gorst there.
All right.
He's happy with that. I don't blame you, kid. I don't blame you. Because, you know, here if Carlo Biado cuts the one much to the left at all, well, first off, he's got to beat the double kiss and avoid that.
Well,
But if he cuts it too much, there's a scratch there, you know.
If I could get the overhead, I would love to show. I think he should try to play low and drive the cue ball into the 8 and let that bounce out and just play the 1 right into the 4 and take his chances. I think he tried that. Didn't work, but it was a difficult spot to play from.
Well, there's sufficient angle here for him to drive this ball. He can get into the bottom rail between the corner pocket and the 3 ball, and he'll top it back down here for this 2 ball on the side. Drive that ball with a big stroke. He'd love it to get past straight in on the 2. So, ooh, this is tricky. Does he have enough? I think he does. I think he does have enough angle. You know, even if it didn't, he could float up just 3 or 4 inches and still cut the 3.
Yeah,
But,
he's close enough to the 2. He can even manipulate the pocket a little bit if he needs to. I think he's okay. He can just play whichever shot he feels the best about.
Yeah, drive this ball with spin and go around the 6. There it is. He didn't have spin. He got stunned into that ball. He's fortunate. Fortunate there to rub the 6 thinly. If he'd hit it any thicker than that, he could be behind it. I really thought he would play that ball with more stroke to the rail and then spin in. And he looked like he just hit it with more power.
Nice shot. Worked the cue ball much closer to the 4. That's going to help him quite a bit here now. Get his bridge hand down on the table bed. He's only 5 feet away from the 4. Looks like he has at least 2/3 of the pocket to work with.
That shows a lot of confidence that he didn't feel the need to get his cue ball back, you know, towards center table. He just accepted the shot from around the head string. This shot's a little difficult to play it the way that you would want to play your pattern, say on a 9-footer. Well, the 10-footer makes it difficult. Now, do you draw this ball zigzag twice across the table to center table, or do you try to go forward and around the balls? I think he hits it low and pulls it across the table between the 6 ball and the side pocket, and then back out towards center table. He appears to be cueing low. Watch it go across the table, just short of the side pocket.
Good shot.
He let up on it a touch, but he can't. Great result.
He was coming on the high side. If he avoided the 6, he'd have been fine, and he just lightly collided into the 6 and actually got just as good.
Sometimes there's a fear with that shot of overstroking it and pulling it straight across the table in the opposite side pocket, you know.
Particularly with this kid who tends to pull his final backswing back much longer than what he preps.
Well, he's a very tall young man, so he can reach a lot of shots, you know, that, of course, Carlo Biado cannot reach. But even the 10-footer provides some problems for every player. Sometimes you have to go to a bridge or... but I think that he's going to go for an extension here, it looks like.
Both ways on the shot clock and his cue. Still got the green light. There goes his extension. The automatic 42nd.
Well, this is the common way to play this. You'll see all the pros in the world that play this ball with a low left stun, 2 rails out of the corner. Having to bridge from near this rail, I think. He'll punch this in. When if he hears the 10 hit the back of the pocket, he doesn't even have to watch the ball. It just goes and get the break here. Just like that.
Great shot. Great shot. Fearlessly struck. 4-3's our score. You know, and while we watch them rack, I'd like to say that, can you believe how good the Accu-Stats crew is? These guys.
No, I can't.
In all seriousness, I'm not trying to be self-serving. I don't mean me.
It's amazing to me. I mean, it really is. There's a lot of people behind the scenes.
Julian, Buster, Levi, John, Pat, and the camera work, the lighting, the equipment, just the
is on a
general
whole other
disposition.
level. Yeah, it's on a whole other level, than what a lot of people see. I mean, there's so much behind the scenes. There are remote control cameras and a room full of people behind us here, and computers and monitors everywhere. They've got a lot going on, not to mention all the setup.
All the graphics, the instant replay, split screen, slow-mo, the whole package. I mean, it's full-on television production quality.
Yeah, first class, too.
Gorst breaking now, leading 4-3.
8 and 9 towards the sides, 9 ball down, 8 at the point. The 1 ball
Fell.
What's going to happen to
The 2 ball?
Is there a billiard on the 5? It looks questionable.
Looks possible. If there is, he can play the 2 into the 10 and hold the 2 ball right there, too. Yeah, I think it's go time. I don't know if he can see it past the 8. Looks like that's what he's looking for, so he must be able to see it because he checked that first, of course.
Yeah. So it's going to be a little cut on the 5. From this camera angle, it looks like it's easy, but from the side view, we can see here that the 5 has to be cut up the rail a little bit. Like I said, a cut on the 5. Okay, he got it to drop. Not really a pocket for the 2 here, so I think he's looking to duck. The simple play might be to feather the side of the 2 and go down here behind the balls, but this is good. The 4 is a big ball here. I like the play here. This makes the most sense. He cut it a little far away from the 4. He could have kept that a lot closer to the 4 and kept the safety intact. Instead, he's given Biado a lot of opportunity here with several options to play. This is really just a matter of opinion, what you're feeling in the moment. He could bank the 2 straight down the center of the table towards the 10, spin the cue ball 2 rails to the back of the 6 and the 7, or use the 4 and the 8 by thinning the 2 back cut behind the 8 like that. Dodge those balls. Okay.
What a shot.
Now he's good.
What a shot. Great call. You called it. He executed it. I don't know. Which was better?
Well, sometimes I'm the guy that, I like to see some shots and I'll call out 3 or 4 options, quickly and not really saying which one is the best, and then they go ahead and shoot one, and I don't know, maybe I have to try to just guess what they're going to do in the moment. We'll see. Look, the 2-8 looks dead. However,
No, I think it takes some throw.
Okay.
Here on the overhead you can see.
I see it. Yes, so if he hits this from the center of the table side, it will throw the 8 towards the rail. It's collision-induced throw. That's what we call it. That ball's got a chance if it's hit. Look at the 8 tracking that way. I'm surprised that he didn't really crank that a little more, because that ball had a legitimate shot to go. When the balls are frozen like that, they don't have to be lined up dead to a pocket. They can be off considerably, and you can throw it, several inches over the distance of, 8, 9 feet, 7, 8, 9 feet.
You can comfortably, on new equipment with new slick balls like this, you can figure about maybe 3/4 of an inch per foot. If you hit it at 45 degrees. Wow.
Powerful stroke right there.
Wow.
Carlo Biado has hit a ball finally the way that we know he can. He's hit this ball with some confidence, and I think that stroke's going to make him really feel it like, I'm back,
Last night and today, he's missed all of those there in front of us. That was the first one he really hit the way we are accustomed to seeing him.
Looks to me like one rail across the grain of the table, just past the side pocket. They'll use this angle and play the ball, slide overcut to the right side of the pocket here, and high left cue ball.
Sometimes I go to the side pocket here just to take the side pocket out with the cue ball. in this fashion.
Yeah, good call, Mark. That's what he's done, it looks like.
Yeah, that's safer.
Yeah, smooth. He went a little long there.
Right. You don't have to be quite as perfect with a lot of your shots.
Yeah, that gave him a bigger target range.
That way, if you slightly miss it to begin with, you don't scratch. I was saying this earlier, and it's true. Watching these guys play, and I just feel like I've gotten better. I feel like I want to go hit balls. You know, I'm inspired. Right. I've seen them hit balls slightly different ways than I normally hit them, and it's worked out better. So I feel like I've learned 4 or 5 shots. And anxious to go try them out.
He can snip draw this just tight and come back close to the side over here. Yeah.
Use just a little bit of right-hand English here. Just help it crawl down the rail. Get real straight on the 10. Very nice. This would tie the match up. This match just became a race to 7 for $4,000. Score is tied 4 apiece. And Biado's TPA now moved out to 844. Gorst right at 800. It's a pretty good mark.
No, Mark, could you tell me a little about the TPA, exactly what it considers? Not just balls pocketed, a safety play?
Yeah, total performance average is a really cool formula. It's predicated upon the amount of errors that you make and the amount of balls that you pocket. And so you take the total balls pocketed, add the errors on top of that figure, and divide it back into the original total balls pocketed. That's how you arrive at the figure. The errors that you can make are scratches on the break, missed shots, missed positions, bad safeties, just general scratches. So, missed kicks, I might add. It's a pretty cool thing because it's harsh, but it teaches you the value of pocketing balls and the value of the 1 ball, because just don't make a mistake. And as long as you're not making any mistakes, your TPA will stay high.
I like it. You know, over the years, it's how I've picked some of the matches that I've gotten, you know, by the TPA. Well, if it's a really high number, that must be a great match.
Right. What I've learned from it was unforced errors kill you. Oh, much like that. And listen to this. It's so interesting. The person that pockets the most total balls wins the match almost every time. And you would think, well, isn't the last ball the most important? The 1 ball is just as important in that. And if, say, the score at the end of this match is, you know, I don't know, I'll just throw out a figure, 86 balls to 82 balls. 86 still almost always wins the match. It's rare when the lower
That's
figure.
amazing.
It will
Seems
happen
like
occasionally, but it will almost, if it's 86 to 72, it never happens.
Right. Wow.
What's going on here? He hit that heavy.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to cut that ball more and get that ball to juice with inside English and play it 3 rails around through the gap between the 6 and the 10 back to center table. That would have given him the 2.
This is a pretty shot here because it actually fell kind of nice to go back and forth 2 cushions.
He did.
3 cushions, actually. He doesn't want to play it 2 because you can get in behind the 9, so he'll ramp up the speed just a little bit to let it trickle off that 3rd rail. Side rail, side rail, side rail. Beautiful. Perfect.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that is.
No, I think that he just tucks this ball back on the lower end of the table, just near center table, and still has the cut at the 4 of the corner. That will put him into the rail, 1 rail to center table for the 5 in the same side, and the 4 goes on that side of the table. You know, there's an old adage, some of the pool players say, don't play position if you already have position. So you can see if he falls into this window here between the 8 and 5 with a little cut on the 4, then be able to get to the 5. And then sometimes they fake you out. We may see another way here.
Yeah, he's going forward.
Yeah.
Play it in the side. He fell a little short, though. Yeah, he's dissatisfied for sure. He needed at least another foot and a half there to make that really play nice.
Well, he has a choice here. I think he goes across twice, straight across the table and straightens it up and has the 5 in the side. But he could also choose to go around that 7. But to get around the 7, that's going long. And that may put him around behind the 8. You know, if trying to fall on the 5.
Yeah, this is not that easy.
You know what I see? He could go all the way to center table, play this 4 with a lower left English, and spin long all the way around the 7. Come around the 8, back to center table.
This is certainly a missable shot.
I think that's what he's doing. Let's watch this cue ball move all the way around the 7 and the 8. There's the 7. Here comes the 8.
Boy, good shot. Good shot.
Boy, his speed was perfect. He just barely got there.
Very impressive.
And it's a stop shot lead into the 6 pretty much. You can tuck it back or float it up.
If you didn't like that, there must be something wrong with you. There's really no reason to be here, Scott. That was artistic.
You know, the speed that he hit that ball played a lot into not hitting the 8 fuller. If he'd hit it harder, it would have arced out a little more, and the draw would have hit the 8 in the face maybe. So he wouldn't have gotten such an optimum angle here on the 7.
Nice call. Has to be mindful to not lose focus here. These balls are still missable. Good job.
He looks driven. He looks like there's a sense of purpose here, and he feels like, I'm not going to let any more, simple mistakes happen. I'm going to win this match. He looks that way, like he's just driven.
Very determined. He gutted one out there, and if you were to award points on a scoring system that was judged, I would give 2 games for that rack. And even the Soviet judges checked in with a 1.5 games, so pretty good. 5-4 is our score. Biado in front. You had to do a lot of good things at the rack.
I think what's so impressive sometimes watching these players is, the recovery. Being able to recover when you get a little bit out of line. Everybody gets out of line, but then there's the stress of the cameras and the lights and the people. And, how do you handle that and get back in line? And that's the mark of a champion player.
Yeah. Oh, it's always so simple to describe it, but it's quite another thing to do it under the heat of the lights. But the one thing, just focus on what you're doing, and the other thing, it's not the end of the world. Somebody said this one time, and it is kind of true. You have to be able to play for everything as if it means nothing.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's great. You need to write that down for me afterwards.
I think somebody else has. I read it somewhere.
Okay, well, good thing the 2-ball interrupted the cue ball there, because it looked like it was headed towards the side pocket. Oh my goodness.
The one is deep and heavily defended. Oh boy, this is.
What's the play here? Are you going to push out? Man, this is amazing.
It is. Yeah, this is really, really hideous.
If he can get in deep to that head rail where he's aiming, he may be able to spin this ball. And it's well worth it, in my opinion. You don't push out here if you can avoid it. If you can spin this ball in, you're going to get a tiki off of the 5 possibly. the ticky shot and run back down table. The 2 is kind of pretty easily located. There's
Boy,
the tiki off the 5.
nice shot. Nice shot.
Well, he would have preferred to go a little farther, obviously, and out from the
Understood.
rail. But hey, I'm glad to be in this position if I'm him.
Exactly.
This could've
Now
been
you can
so much
defend
worse.
yourself. That was up in the air. He made it look pretty easy too. I don't think it necessarily was. I was deeply concerned for his welfare when I saw the arrangement of balls.
How purely did he strike that ball? Look,
What a nice shot that
8 ball
was.
stuck its nose out there, but nice and accurate.
Gorst has a word with Ken Schumann. I don't know what that was. Would you get out of my way or something? I guess. Yeah, the last rack was very, very entertaining. Gave me a little shot of adrenaline seeing him get out that rack. Oh.
Just barely missed it.
He was playing to make it, but that's not the right play there because you're not going to get position. You need to play like the one pocket takeaway, and just to let it come, let
Bank
the
it
2
up the
come.
side rail,
Right.
and then the cue ball goes on to the
That
head
way
rail
you-
and across. Yeah.
You're not going to win trying that, but you can foul. And the other way, you're not likely to foul. And you might sell out, but it won't be a sellout like this.
If the 8 ball were not where it sits, he would go this way. And, he can still go this way as long as he splits the 8 and the 5 here. If the 8 ball weren't there, he has a little more room, but there's still plenty of room here. And this ball transitions nicely around the horn.
Mm-hmm.
2 rails down to the 3rd rail, being the lower left side rail here. Like it had a steering wheel. You would like to have some angle here. You don't want to have to fight this big beast. I mean, this 10-footer here is, there's a lot of blue out there. You want to have some angles to be able to move that cue ball.
Yeah, it will extract vengeance if you're disrespectful at all. Uh-oh. Trouble, trouble, trouble.
He needed another tick. Oh, he's okay, somewhat. I mean, I wouldn't call this okay. I'm still shaking in my boots having to shoot this shot. If
Yeah,
it's me.
not at all.
But a tick more of side spin. He needed to reach like the rings of a tree. One more ring to the right, outside of center, and without enough side spin to get beyond that side pocket.
Psychologically, this play is about 15% more difficult if you leave it for yourself inadvertently as opposed to just randomly coming to the table, and this would be your opponent's missed shot because you shouldn't have been there. Nice recovery. Yeah, pretty good tenacity. Don't discount that mental toughness component, and Biado has that in spades. His execution's been a bit off, but he's been able to win the previous match with his B game. He's starting to kind of move up the B game level. He started off the match with just his B game, but it's starting to look more like his A game here as the match proceeds.
I like the way he played that. I was going to suggest he could slightly float forward, but don't be behind, above the 8, jacked up over the 8. And then I realized, well, that's the play to drive this ball, and then that's what he saw. I agree completely with driving the ball. And a lot of people say, well, keep it simple. Why wouldn't you just float up? Well, I think floating up, you're expanding the distance from your next object ball, whereas the way he shot the ball, he's getting closer to his object ball. And I like that for sure.
And plus, you're going to have to take some little bit of chance or risk at some point, which is the best place to take the risk and to minimize the ultimate amount of risk that you might have to take. And he determined that was the best play.
Look how nicely he fell in here, Mark.
Yeah, he's starting to look pretty good here.
He's got to be thinking to himself, finally, there's a little separation here. I've been battling with this kid, and
Yeah.
I gave him one earlier, but I think I'm going to get back in this and pull away a little.
6-4 now. And it's been all Biado here the last few racks. TPA starting to show too. 879 now for Biado, 769 Gorst. Be interesting to see what the amount of balls deposited would be. But that score would be probably approaching 20 balls separation.
No, I can tell.
There it is. Yeah, 58 to 40.
Well, you're right there on it. 18 balls separation. You know, I can tell that you know your stuff when it comes to the TPA. You can tell the exact amount of balls. I mean, you're within 2. I mean, that's outstanding, Mark. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Well, we watched this. I've been involved with this since Pat devised it. Just about. I think I might even have some of the original Accu-Stats sheets. Originally.
It's a great system.
It
I really
is.
do like it.
Okay, Biado breaking here, just right of center. Like to generate a little offense here. Keep the momentum up.
Oh,
Cue
off
ball
center.
got away.
But look, he managed to get both balls in the side and got another one to drop.
Yep.
You know, typically when a guy hits the ball off center that far, you know, it's harder to get those 2 balls to shoot straight back at the side pockets, but he got them both.
Yeah, but the break is fickle enough, Scott, that sometimes you mishit it and make more, and then other times you crush them. But percentage-wise, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, well, this is a great lead-in. Look at the way these balls lay. I mean, he's got a nice start-off shot, a nice fluid angle here just to play back on the upper side of center table, and everything seems to flow here.
This opening shot, that's important. He locked down on it, got it.
It's like
Connected.
feng shui, you know. You know about feng shui?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Okay, well, it's kind of like that. It's like you see the old man on the beach doing Tai Chi. You know, everything just sort of flows. All the movements go together. That's kind of how you want your position plays to work out in your patterns.
Right.
This leads into that nicely, you know, and it just kind of, it's like rhythmic and beautiful.
Right.
And then you know you're playing well when everything seems to line up that way. You're getting on the correct side of every ball.
The very essence of what's known as dead stroke. How old are you, Scott?
45.
45? Well,
right.
you look 30. But
Oh, my
anyway.
goodness. My new best friend, Mark Wilson.
Do you know the story of Accu-Stats?
No.
Okay. Well, you have videos, right?
Yes,
And it's called Accu-Stats Video Productions.
that's right.
But that's not the story. The story is it was all just a statistical formula, and Pat used to train scorekeepers that were inefficient and expensive, and so he just bought some video cameras, and he would do it all himself, have tapes. And then people started asking him, hey, what'd you do with my match from yesterday? And I said, oh, I'm going to re-record it. He said, well, I'll pay you $10 for it. Well, okay, because he had plenty of dollar blanks available, so he started selling those. Those sold. The stats never really did. They should have, but didn't. I always say that Pat's a man ahead of his time, always. People still do not know the value of these statistics that he generates. But that is the story of Accu-Stat Video Productions. That's a business that Pat had no intention of starting or creating or even
Really?
aware of. That it was something that was a business.
There's a little pool trivia right there. I'm going to move that along to some people. Maybe
Yeah,
tonight.
It was
Maybe
a cool
tonight.
story.
Look at them today.
Yep. Ooh, he raised up as if he thought he was going to struggle with it, but he made them all. He used to pay me $5 a match. I was one of the original scorekeepers, and I was going to watch the matches anyway, and you actually learn more from doing it. But he says it was 3 years ago. No, 30 years ago. Good heavens. Seriously. 30
Well,
years
this
ago.
isn't a 10 ball he's going to miss. You know, he missed one of these to win the match yesterday, but not that one.
That's a nice spot to break and run out, right?
Well, the cream's starting to rise to the top here, it looks like.
Yeah, 7-4 is our score now.
And that's what he's got to hope for, is another great break like last break and get a similar opening, you know, play on the one that leads so nicely into the two.
I
The
know
balls
he'd,
just sort of play themselves for you then.
I know he'd like to hit him a little better, though, as far as the break goes. He kind of mishit it, but yes, you're right. We'd love to have that type of a start again.
It's so funny, you know, but, you know, these balls are round. I mean, so you hit around just a couple millimeters off center and your cue ball wants to bounce back and hook straight for the side. So you've got to hit the flat part of that one from directly wherever your cue ball is placed.
You have tapped into the difficulty of this sport, too, when you talk about millimeters.
That's right.
Once again, just right of center, the 7 and 8, right behind the 1. They have not been finding the side pocket with the regularity they did the previous 2 days.
7 and 8's just above. And the 1's going to hang up, and that's got to be nice. He's got to like that.
The cue ball was totally stopped dead center of the table. Something came, kissed it down table. Had it been where it was, the 5 ball would impede direct access to the 1 by being kissed down table. The 1 ball actually plays easier now. It's off to the side. From out in the center of the table, you'd have to draw this out of there, most likely.
So I'm curious about the 8 ball over there. The 8 ball is the ball I see. If he plays this ball side rail first, then the 1, then goes to the head rail, he's going over towards the 8. So I think because of that, he may choose to chip the 8 on the other side, but then you may hit the point here.
Yeah,
He played it rail first anyway. Now let's watch the 8. That's what I was concerned with. And he's going to be okay. Oh, that's perfect now, to be honest. Look at the angle.
Call, yeah.
Can stun this ball straight over to the side rail. And
You can also detect just a hint more of a bounce in his step as he comes around. Like he's seeing momentum. He's seeing like, hey, I'm starting to play like I know I can.
We should peg that. We should name it. I think it's the Biado strut. Yeah, he's hitting it with confidence now. Before, he may have just laid that ball over there softly, and tucked it in. He played it with the stroke that now gives him the optimum angle to draw back out center table.
Mm-hmm.
Good smooth low right cue ball and pull it back center table for the 5. If he can reach it. These extensions are everywhere. See the extension he's putting on the cue?
Yeah.
All the players have those now. Lots of players leave it on their cue for playing on the 10-footer. They just play with a longer cue. Earl Strickland, has so often been an innovator in new technology, and he was using a very long cue. He had a challenge match with Shane Van Boening a few years back, and he beat Shane playing on the 10-footer, and he had the long cue, and no one else really had them at the time, or not many. And, he's kind of innovative in that department. So then, next time it came around, Shane played him. Shane had that, and Shane managed to beat him the next time.
Well, we got into that one a little bit better. You really wanted. That 9, it's still a tricky spot to have the 9. It's going to take some doing now. He's going to have a hard time getting the right angle to easily get onto the 9.
Well, what I like about it is that the 8 ball is over there and kind of leads into it, and it's where the 10 is located is the big thing for me. You don't have to play a lot of position off of the 9 to go somewhere for the 10 because just cinch the 9 and there it is.
So you just top spinning to the end rail and back
think
up?
So.
Yeah. Okay.
Come into the 8, so he's got to rely on a little
it's
break.
still okay, yeah. He can do something from here.
It would not surprise me to see him play this ball on the side and drive his cue ball, but, I think that maybe just tucking this ball to the corner is the way to go. That's the way to go. Tuck this ball to the corner and just low right your cue ball. Just smooth stroke it and tuck it back. You'll be relatively straight on the 9. He's looking at it in the side, but
Well, he might have just a little more of a severe cut than we think.
does he go all the way to the foot rail?
I think he's drawing over the other long rail, yeah.
Oh, look at
spinning
inside
it
English
around.
spin 3. It's going to be short.
Yeah. Oh, boy. No good.
I'm wondering if he should have opted for the little tougher shot and shot it to the corner.
I think anything but this. Whatever way you would have gone.
But, he's a world-class player. He chose to do it this way for a reason. He knows what he's capable of doing and what he likes.
No, he was planning to get the cue ball 3 feet closer to the 9. He bent it a little bit too much with that draw.
I can't fault his effort if that's what he liked at the table. Oh, my goodness, he hit it perfectly. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, that deserves applause, folks.
It does. Oh, boy. That's tough business right there. It's been quite a while since we've seen Gorst at the table, too. Oh, nice shot there. 8-4 is our score. Another break and run out here.
becoming the Carlo Biado show
It is.
here in Derby City.
He's definitely feeling good.
You know, if someone were to give me that 9-ball shot he just had, and say, okay, I'm going to bet you on making this shot, I would probably say, okay, I need 4 shots.
Hmm?
Maybe 3. Maybe I could make it if I had 3 shots.
Yeah,
A little
even,
different making it in the moment.
even for a world-class player, you're probably only just a little over 50-50 to make it. It's probably about 60% shot. Biado now at 907. That's world class for sure.
We just saw Gorst check over his shoulder, just maybe looking up for the score, and he had the look like he was resigned to sitting in the chair. What else can I do? You know, he's running out. I'm here. This is how it is.
Yeah, he's hitting the rake good. Gonna get a shot. This time the rack, and no favors for Kenny Schumann. Both balls on the edge of the rack. He needs 2 ball markers, folks. He only has 1, so he's gonna wait and see if something dislodges it later.
That's also the beauty of this rack. You know, it's made of a fabric-type material. You know, it's very thin, so the balls roll over the rack effortlessly and easily. You know, it really doesn't cause anything at all. So when I've used these in the past, I just shoot right off of them, leave it there.
Quite a bit of time over the ball there.
You know, he chose to play 2 rails deep out of that corner. You know, his other option was a little off, you know, to just simply roll the ball because he felt maybe he would come into the back of the 10. So
He can just roll off the 3 and play safe, but I don't think he really wants to do that. He wants to play the bank shot just because the 4 ball's there. He can play it 4 down in the corner pretty easily. Continue on his merry way if he connects. No, he went for the soft safety. He did not get
did
it.
overstroke this?
Yeah, he didn't get it.
My concern now becomes a 9-ball. Does the 9 play past the 10? It looks to be frozen to the 10, like it doesn't go in the corner, but that it plays in the side.
Well, I think he might be able to billiard it right now. Oh, he's going to have to half masse. All right, yeah, no good. I guess the safety was effective then. Well, Gorst is looking at back cutting the 3.
Yeah, I think the ball plays. So, you know, if he can avoid these balls, you know, we'll see him play his cue ball 3 rails. Oh, he attempted to play the safety. Or did he? Did he go for that, Mark? Did he just go for it and he just, because he really, really overcut it. I think it was just deceptive of him getting past the ball.
Well, yeah, I didn't respond because I'm not sure. So, sorry. I thought about it and I'm still not sure. It looked like he was thinking that he had to half masse it, so I don't know what that meant.
I think that he tried that and he tried to play the ball, but he just missed it by a good bit. You know, I think a more experienced player may have decided, I have to intentionally overcut this ball into the side rail and to the bottom. But no matter, Carlo Biado is doing work.
Well, the 8 and 9 on the Accu-Rack is much to the consternation of Ken Schumann. He's fearing he's going to have to do something about this at some point.
He's flat enough here that he's got a couple of options. You know, he could nudge the 8 up the side rail and then shoot it to the corner and roll up for the 9 on the side, or he can just draw away from this and play the 8 as it lies and get behind the 9 for the 9 on the side.
He thinks it goes straight in the corner, I believe.
Okay, well maybe then the balls are gapped there, because if those 2 balls are frozen, the 9 doesn't pass the 10, so that tells me that there's a little gap between them. Oh, that's surprising. I don't think it'll matter.
I don't know. He's going to hit the 10. It does matter.
I think he can put a stroke to this and go forward, even though he brushes the 10, and go to the bottom rail and then the side rail. What I think matters here for him is reaching it.
Well, he can scratch with this shot, too, depending upon how the 9 enters the pocket. If he just goes straight topspin. They really didn't want to power up on this.
Look where his bridge hand is on the joint of the key.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was trouble all the way.
He hit it thick and avoided the 10.
Okay, now Ken, delighted. I'll move the rack. Well,
He may wait and see if Gorst requests it here. I think he is.
yeah, that's actually going to make a difference too.
Well, there's the ball marker there. Holds it down tightly. Oh, that shows me there. Ken Schumann's got some skills there.
Glad to get that over with. Is this a Masse? I think it is.
Just gonna try to get a little spin here. Twirl around, cut it to 9.
Good shot.
That's a great play.
Good shot. That speed. Get enough bend on there.
I feel like this is a ball that, he makes, and the beauty of it is that he can play the cue ball just on a natural line back to the back rail here. So if something fluky were to happen, the ball, points out or something, at least you leave him on the back rail with a tough shot.
Perfect. Good
That's
shot.
great.
Yeah, a much needed game too. 8-5 is our score.
He showed a lot of composure, I think, too.
Oh, absolutely. He sustained quite a series of blows there. Back to the action now, everybody. Gorst breaking, coming off a little victory there. 8-5 trailing. Needs to generate a little offense right here. Nice way to come back with a good square hit.
Well, he better hopes that... Okay, the 3 has gone for him. That's a situation where I think he has overpowered the break. He may have hit it too hard because both of the balls behind the 1 actually went above the side pockets. Those are the balls you're gunning for. And we spoke about this in a match previously that, it's really all about, so much about the flush hit, but it's about speed greatly, where those balls come back out of the rack. Did get the 3 ball to do its usual path and go 4 rails. It's amazing how that ball finds 4 rails through all the traffic and still manages to find the bucket.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a marvel how many times they make those corner balls.
Okay, hit it with a little speed. He hit it very purely. Look at the speed. That's outstanding. That shows a lot of composure right there. Looking to tighten this matchup just a little bit.
Will he topspin forward to the end rail and come back up to play it in the side or corner, or will he just roll ahead just a little bit to play it to the other corner?
I think that he punches it out. I don't think that he'll go to the head rail. Yeah, okay, he even went the other way. And that's questionable a little bit. Maybe if it was that straight, he should have gone to the end rail. Because now I don't know that this ball plays... He's almost on the 50-yard line to shoot it to either corner.
Mm-hmm.
And he can play it to either corner and maintain position on the 5. If he cuts it back to his left, then it's likely he goes 3 rails around the 10.
Yeah, I think that plays the easiest with the top spin. You could draw it between the 5 and the 8.
And that's what he did.
All right.
And expertly struck, too. He laid it off nicely.
And it must have played a little easier than we were thinking it did because he did that effortlessly.
Yeah. That's why I wish we had a little birdie on their shoulder, so we could see exactly the angle that they see.
That was the cool thing about that snooker coverage I was talking about yesterday, how they give you an animated view of the exact, and then they can tilt it, and they shade areas that the cue ball won't go, and unshaded to where it will go. Pretty cool. Very, very descriptive and very educational.
Yeah, it's innovative stuff right there. If we could just do that with giving pool lessons and let our guys, see what we're showing them. Understand the cue ball can't, under any circumstances, go in the shaded area. It's just not possible if you pocket the ball, That's great use of inside English there, combined with speed.
Have you ever seen the video called The Pool Lesson with Jerry Bryseth, the 3-disc set?
I've seen a little bit of Jerry Bryseth stuff, but I don't know that I've seen it from front to back.
It's really good.
Snippets.
Yeah, 4.5 hours of material. It's all fresh, cutting edge, real neat things. It talks about power trade-off and some of the things you just described.
Well, here's a situation where he goes, the angle takes him up table and to the right. He would prefer to be a little more towards center table, have the angle into the side rail there and spin back in towards where he is now for the 10. But he would have had to really jam that ball in there to get that angle, and it just wasn't worth that.
Boy, what a nice shot that was. Very good. Just excellent.
And it's easy for him to reach. Well, one more time, a very common play here to punch this 10 in and drag the cue ball with the lower left 2 rails out of the corner and diagonally across the table. Once you hit deep 2 rails out of that corner, you can walk away, go get the break cue, because you can't scratch.
And nice way to come back from your break with the break and run out. It will be his first of the match. 8-6 is our score.
The 10-ball rack track here gives us some great information. Racks 8 through 12, that's 5 in a row, won by Carlo Biado here. That really is what happened here for the young Russian. But he's going to try for a 5 in a row of his own.
Yeah, he's got 2 so far.
Okay, Mark, I'm putting you on the spot. Call it now. Is he going to break and run here?
Well, naturally I would say that not, just because it's he's the underdog to do so, but I would like to see it. I'm hopeful, just for the excitement of it. 5 and 6 behind the 1. Well, I feel much better about it now.
He would prefer that the 1 ball weren't right there on the rail. He would like to be a little flatter on it, but he can hold this, I feel, pretty easily.
Yeah, he has a chance at least.
There's no clear line to double the cushions down the length of the table and back, so I think because of that, we'll see him just slow roll this in. He may even put some inside English on it. If it's close enough to the rail, he can almost even kick this in barely. Just a slow spin, slow float. A lot of spin, but this kind of shot can get away from you. That rail up there does its job and kicks the cue ball down here under the 6 and trouble. He's hit it. Great shot.
Boy, he sure did. I didn't know if he'd be able to hold it like that or not. He did go rail first.
And this looks to be a beautiful angle, too, to drive forward 2 rails, splitting the 9 and the 4 coming out of the second rail. As long as he's got a good angle into this head rail, and he does.
Nice speed.
I keep getting faked out. I keep thinking when some of these guys hit these balls, on the 10-footer, oh, he's overhit it. And then it slows down quickly. I forget there's all the extra space and the ball slows down more than I expect.
That's right. Yeah, I've seen a number of shots that way myself.
And you can tell when the players get really tuned into the speed.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think he should have stopped the ball and played the 4 in the corner rather than come up here. It's still doable, but now there's a lot more travel to the cue ball. He could have played almost a stop shot or a stun.
If he's looking to play into the wide open spaces, we'll see him play this ball to the head rail and back down. He could even involve the side rail with some inside English, but he's got to get past the 9 here. And in doing that, I'll look at the inside English. He's going to be perfect. Hit it in the face. Okay, there he is.
Yeah, that's the very reason I preferred playing that shot in the corner. You didn't have to negotiate the traffic and use your speed control.
Well, you have a point there because, a lot of times you hit that 9 just off a little more, and then it's in between your cue ball and the next ball.
Right. He got straight in on the 6, but you don't have to from where he started from with all that movement.
Well, because of the side that he's on, he's got sufficient angle here to go to the head rail. And in doing that, I think that he plays the 8 ball across the spot to that corner, because he's on this side of the table, I think he would have to work harder to get to the other side of the table.
Right.
So it's okay maybe to play a short side if he chooses.
Perfect. No. 50-yard line? Yes. Yeah, he's on a good run, though. He's got some momentum, and I think he can do this. He's not going to be able to use topspin, though. Looks like it's too much scratch implication here. I think he's going to have to go just below center and stun it to the long rail and drop down the end rail and stiffen it up, come back up table towards the 9.
This is a situation he's going to have to hit the ball with some good pace to get this to work out.
Right.
I don't know that he wants to try to load up with low inside and spin it 3 rails. That makes a shot 3 times as hard.
Oh, I don't think that, yeah. I would go just below center and stun it over there. And you want to stun it just to the end, or the long rail, just north of the quarter pocket. Well, he did go 3 rails. He went for the side pocket.
And trouble. Okay.
Tough shot, though.
Whew, we can wipe our foreheads now. Oh,
Yeah, he's got to come back with another good shot.
I'm nervous for him. He's down 2. I want to see him get back in this. This would be great to go double hill.
Boy, good stroke mechanics there under pressure. Very simple swing. This will be a second consecutive break and run out. And Fedor announces, "Hey, Carlo, I'm still here." 8-7. 3 in a row now.
I'm wondering if Carlo Biado has one single bead of sweat coming down his forehead.
I don't think so. He's been in some wars before with some very good players, so he's fairly accustomed to this type of performance. Not from a 16-year-old so much, though. You kind of wonder, doesn't that put a little extra pressure on you? Here you are, journeyman pro, and you're playing a kid that, normally watches SpongeBob or something, and all of a sudden he's up here whooping you.
And Russian SpongeBob.
Yeah. I watch SpongeBob. I never had, but I have 2 granddaughters that love it, so.
It's a great show.
I now know all the cast of characters. Krusty Krab, the whole package.
Who would have thought we would have been talking about Krusty Krab and SpongeBob at a major professional tournament? And I love it. That's exactly who I am, Mark. I get a little silly sometimes, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
Rack 16, Fedor breaks. Carlo leads 8-7.
He is very young, just looking at the face. I bet a lot of mothers at home just want to pinch him on the cheeks.
Couple nice break and run outs here. Do not lose the cue ball. That would be my one thing.
Good square hit. Look at the cue ball park.
Good job.
7 ball hit the point. Got 1 to go, and he's got some issues with the 2 ball.
That's great, though. That's cool. Well, if he could work the cue ball close to the 2, he could just rub it, and really put down a devastating safety, but it's hard to do from way over here.
He looks fairly straight here, doesn't he?
Yes, he
On the
does.
one. Yeah, if he could really get this cue ball to stun anywhere over towards the center portion of the head rail, would be great to fan the two softly. That's such a delicate shot, though. So many people bank the two out in the open trying to do that. Mm-hmm. Or either don't get a rail, they hit it so softly. We'll see if he's able to get the touch here.
Good shot. Oh, excellent shot. Excellent shot.
Look at this kid. Are you serious? Dude, you're 16. You can't do that.
I get excited. I want to clap, but I get yelled at because it comes out over the... So it's got like golf clap. You saw it. There it was. Excellent.
I mean, somebody tell him he's 16. You can't shoot that shot that well at 16. Come on.
We already had 1-3 foul rule today. We're not going to have another one now. Doesn't appear.
One ball is off, so...
Carlo Biado, excellent job there hitting that ball. Ever so interesting of a development here in the arrangement of balls.
Well, the safety battles are great. I love seeing them. You know, we all see the players run out. It's going to leave an edge unless he spins back.
Does he have an edge?
He does.
Tell.
He has a little edge here. However, I don't know that he can get the cue ball completely hidden, you know, where he can't get to the one back. Yeah, see, there just wasn't a line there to keep the one ball from being hidden.
I want you to know this. I would not have played that shot because I don't think you come out of this thing well. I would have gone ahead and let the one release and let the cue ball go down. I would have tried to get the cue ball down on the end rail behind the 3.
3 and the 8, yes.
And even if I don't get it there, well, this will be super soft. This will not be super soft.
Well, they got a second kiss on the one ball, and he may get lucky here.
Yeah. I don't think he needed to be that aggressive on that shot.
Well, when we were 16, I think we felt that way too.
No, that's
honestly.
true. Yeah.
It's kind of just that nature, you know.
Yep.
You go for the aggressive shot, and
Yeah.
is it going to get safe?
Yeah.
Nice roll.
This was all set up by Biado's great 2-rail kick there from the original safety. You remember?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what, that bought him some time, and now he's turning the tables. That's what happens with these journeyman veteran expert players. You mouse around too long. Now he's got the upper hand in the arrangement of the balls. Good hit. Excellent job.
There's another situation here where he can use the 2 and the 10, also the 7 and the 5 ball by the side pocket. There's a lot of blockers there. I think here's a situation where he 2-rails the 1 ball around behind the 2. Okay, and then plays the cue ball down table behind the 7.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
2-rail the 1 ball like that. He's going to be way soft here with the 1, but the cue ball got there, I think.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, to get the cue ball where it's at, the 1 ball wouldn't go where we were thinking it might. But he prioritized the cue ball, did a great job with that part of it. Now this also a 2-rail kick.
2-rail kick gives him the optimum chance of getting safe, off of this. But if he kicks 1 rail at this, there's not as good a likelihood.
No, if you hit it, you almost never get separation. You're going to leave Biado very close to the 1, which that's no good.
Looks like he's spinning 2 rails, and don't think that somebody like Biado doesn't know that. Well, he did go 1 rail into it.
Yeah, but no good. I mean, you always leave it close.
Well, he got the 2 open, but the 9-10 is still a problem. There's even potential in playing the 2 ball off the 5, hanging in the side. and run the cue ball into the 9-10, but I don't expect that because then you have maybe a long, tough tester of a shot on the 3.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to try to manufacture something. We may see him play the 2-ball down table and nudge into the 10 or something. You know, this is the part of the game where I think it's so beautiful. There's so much creativity here in how one player sees it and gauges the shot compared to the next.
Yeah, this would be the aspect of the game that he figures to hold a big advantage. The defensive aspect and kicking aspect. Simply because of experience, you know, the judging these shots and these little fractions of percentages.
You see, he's looking at the 2 off the 5. That plays easily, but how does the cue ball come out of this mess? You know, do you get trapped up or get...
He's playing it.
You see, there's what I'm saying. How does the cue ball come out of this? Did he do all right? It's close. We'll know momentarily. Yeah, he's not there. You can tell he's not happy about it. That's just a situation where you take your chances, and he didn't come out too well, unfortunately. Let's provide enough of an opening here for young Gorst to take advantage and snug it up again. Then we're having a race to 3 in this match, Mark.
He's going to skip over the edge of the 10. He feels that he can still make it here with a slight jump.
Oh my goodness, come on. You gotta make it look a little harder than that. That makes us think it was just so easy. What a pure stroke.
It looks like if he can stop this ball, he'll preserve the proper angle to float the cue ball out to the center of the table from the 6 to the 7.
Looks to me like a little bit of an angle to the rail. Just a shade.
If he misses this, he'll hit the long rail first. Oh, no. I was wrong. He tried to punch it out.
He tried to create angle and cheat the pocket a touch and shot it a shade wide. That's a trend that we saw in his match yesterday and seen it a couple times here today.
He was lucky, though.
Yes, this could have been so much worse.
Yeah,
At least now he's got a puncher's chance. You know, he's a safety battle here.
He's going to rub the 5 and put the cue ball in behind the 9 will be the thought process for this shot.
Soft shot with a little slow twirl. Didn't really put much spin to it, but is he going to get there? It's looking questionable.
Yeah, you'd rather not come up short on that. If he came up a little long as the 5 is along the rail, so he could have been a hair more aggressive.
Immediately it jumps off the page to me, a double bank on the 5 to the head rail, and then spin the cue ball with a good bit of side spin, you know, down past the spot, maybe involving the 7 over there as a blocker. You may see that's what he did, the double bank to the head rail.
Very good call.
We got the 7 as a blocker, maybe? No?
Not entirely. I'm pretty sure he can at least kick in behind it if he can't see the edge.
Now that would be the kick and stick, Mark, that we shoot so often. One pocket players are very good at this shot, but you use it in 9-ball and 10-ball as well. You kick and play the back rail, the head rail. With a little spin, you come into the ball and it parks. That 5-ball then hits under the 8 and goes back to the bottom part of the table. So you turn the field. No, he played it ball first.
Right back where they started.
If we end up with the same shot again, it's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be amazing.
That's just about it.
Oh my goodness, this is funny.
You know, I was going to say the other way, you don't have to play the kick and stick here. In this particular occasion, you can just go in there flat with just top spin and hit the thin side, kick it down, and then the cue ball trickles over by the 9.
Yes.
It's a hair more aggressive, but it also comes out of there a little better sometimes for you. Oh, he had this shot. That'll work terrific.
If there's an edge of the 5 here, Biado's not going to like this. But it looks like it's questionable. You know, I don't know that he can get to that easily.
Looks like he can maybe go rail first to hit it.
Then he hits the 9 and doesn't get the safety.
No, right. I'm just saying to make a legal hit.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You know, if he has to go rail first, he may have a chance to even make the 5. You know, kick it rail first and spin it up the rail.
Right.
I think he's discussing it with Ken, telling him what his intentions are. Well, okay, here's what I see. Kick 2 rails softly, nudge the 5, and get behind the 9. That's his intention here. Second rail, nudge the 5, get up behind the 9. I don't know.
Nice try, yeah.
I mean, this is going to be bad for Carlo Biado here because he's going to be able to kick this ball and then tuck his cue ball back to the 9. You know, you kick this with the draw stroke, a full hit. Problem is, if he makes the 5 and doesn't, you know, he's not going to have the 6. The 6 is on the opposite side of the table. Don't want to kick the 5 straight into the corner across the table here. But you do want to kick it full enough so that when you put a stroke to this, your cue ball draws back behind the 9.
To get it back behind the 9, you want to introduce a little bit of right-hand English on the cue ball because that allows you to go a little bit deeper behind the 5, and then it comes in flatter.
Right, so it's all about the angle with that play.
Yeah, good.
He overhit it. Is he going to make the 5? Trouble. Kermit the Frog 6 ball is across the way.
You almost may be forced to bank this now, cross side, because it looks like that's about all he can hit. He does have a couple helper balls over there, though.
I like the color of the 6 ball, that Kermit the Frog color. I really like that. I like that it's light. It's not the deep dark green.
Yeah, I think you're just aggressive here. You go ahead and play this and try to cut it more than you might necessarily think because you're going to get a lot of collision-induced tops or backspin. I don't care for this shot.
Yeah, he may lay it up in front of the pocket if it doesn't stop. Well, it's pretty good. It worked out great.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have to assume some risk at some point. I guess that was okay then, as long as it stays on the end rail. It looked like he was prioritizing the cue ball too much when he should have been prioritizing the 6 ball.
I think he wants to kick 2 rails and hit the back of this 6 and have the cue ball park. Back, he hit it great.
Wow, what a shot.
Look at the movement there.
I don't think that doesn't deserve some applause.
Yeah, I'm going to give him some golf claps here in the booth. That was an outstanding shot. That's the way you want to play that ball. You don't want to catch it coming in. You want to get to the second rail, narrowly missing it, and then you kick and stick, you know.
Well, that's all wonderful, but executing it, saying it's 2 different things. He did an unbelievable job there. Yeah, Biado.
7 ball is a big ball.
Look at that shot. Very, very good. Just as good a return now. Yeah, I don't think he has it.
Is there enough to play this ball?
I don't think he does.
Okay,
I looked on the overhead, but we'll find out here momentarily.
Well, then if he can't play it, he can chip it to the side rail and then back in the middle of the bottom rail, and I think he'll try to come back down here between the 9 and the 10.
Oh, he's looking at kicking at this. No. He's looking at where he wants the cue ball to go then.
He can play the ball, judging by the way he's cueing it. Drawing his cue ball, it looks like.
Yeah, he didn't get lucky.
I don't know.
Well, he can at least hit the edge of it and play safe. He didn't get lucky where he has to kick. I should have concluded with that.
You know, at first glance, you think, well, he can, you know, bank this 6 to the side rail and put it on the head rail, then bring the cue ball way down table. I think he can fan the 6 so thinly that it remains behind the 9 and the 10, and he brings the cue ball all the way back down table. Now, he's left him right in the window. Yeah, it was not his best effort. The only thing good about the shot here is that he got separation and distance. Just has to hope for a miss here. Well, talk about a pressure-filled shot here for the young Russian to tie this up. Or, excuse me, for Biado to stretch the lead. Got my players reversed.
Good camera work there. How still does he keep his head? Not very still.
Was going to scratch. He managed to luck a ball in, but the scratch got him anyway, and what a big opportunity for young Gorst here.
Yeah, you can see his head lifting right on the delivery. The damage was done. He missed it by a good bit. There was not a lot of rhythm there. It was there's some guys that stay in that position a little bit longer, but it's almost like he was feeling a little anxious. Raised up as he started his 4-stroke. And that's all it takes to miss a shot that difficult.
Well, we're being treated to a great match here.
Yeah, the kid just will not go away. This is the same way it went with Appleton last night.
And look at the percentage here. We've got an 848 in Biado to an 831 for Gorst.
He's smiling. He knows he didn't have to make it this tough. Anything out near the middle of the table, this ball plays way easier. He'll still make it, but he's got to work a little extra hard. All right. What is that, 4 in a row now?
Oh, I think so. I told you he was coming with a 5 of his own, Mark.
Put himself back in the lead. Yeah, good
well,
call.
Let's just play a race to 3-4 and be done with it. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, Biado definitely knows he's in the match. He was ahead 8-4. There's the rack track.
2-2, 1-1-1, 5 and 4. Well, what has to be going through his head? Is he thinking about a particular shot that maybe cost him?
No, I don't think necessarily. I mean, he knows he's not playing his A game because you see him flinching quite a bit. But, you know, you have to let it go. You can't carry it forward. So and he's a little bit too mature, I think. He certainly realizes.
Well, maybe he's just trying to talk himself into showing resolve and staying solid and not making more mistakes from here.
Yeah. Another good square hit on the break. I don't know that he's going to be blessed with making a ball, but can't fault his effort there. That was a really good hit. Well,
I see a lot of blockers down here. That 3 and the 10 jumping off the page in my mind.
We're going to see a tactical exchange to open up this rack.
I see another play too, cutting the 1 just before the side pocket into the rail, playing it back behind the 3 and the 10, taking the cue ball behind the 9. But he's looking like he's taking the cue ball down under the 3 and the 10 like the first shot I saw. Yeah, that seemed to just lay up nicely for him.
Good shot. Gorst will have to hit either just before the side pocket or just past the side pocket, depending upon how he feels and how he wants to play it.
If he hits before the side, he needs to make sure that he doesn't catch the underside of the 1 and then slip on down the rail into the corner. So he would want to hit it pretty full. It looks difficult to go past the side from here. You'd have to draw the ball, I think. He did a good job. You know, he hit it full enough so he didn't scratch in this corner here. He has to be pretty happy with that play, even in leaving the shot out in the open. You got out of the inning, you know, and lived to fight another day, I think.
Right.
Unless Biado does something amazing here and spears this in and falls on the 2.
Even if he does, from where you were at, that's all you could hope for is to challenge him. Just don't want him starting with ball in hand.
Well, he's got a decent chance at a safety here. It's kicking deeper on the 1 and drawing off. You see, he's pointing it out for us right there. He just indicated the cue ball coming back behind the 3 and the 10. Kick a little deeper than the perfect V angle going into the 1. A little deeper and draw your ball, maybe even bottom right here. Catch the backside of the 1 on the racking end of the table. The cue ball then comes back where he's indicating with his cue.
Yep.
1 ball ends up table. Kick it towards the 9, maybe to the head rail. He hit it full.
Interesting. Looks like he'll have to back up the 1 to make the combination.
I'm thinking, you know, he goes ahead and instead of baby this ball and leave it near the point, the 1 to shoot down in the corner, he goes ahead and cuts it a little bit with some speed and some spin and takes the cue ball 3 rails. Then the 1 runs up the rail a little bit, past the 6, you know, at least a diamond, maybe a diamond and a half up the rail. And he plays position to where the 1 ball's going to end up. If he plays it very soft and slow here, that's a pretty good play too, as long as he hits it very soft and stays straight in on it. Oh, I did not see that coming. I don't think the 1 plays.
It's hard to tell.
It doesn't go. He's looking to find a pathway here for the cue ball to get through and safe, maybe behind the 310 again. He's got to be careful with this, though, because with the ball hanging there,
Yeah.
you know, it makes it easy for Biado maybe to catch a roll if he kicks and hits it, maybe plays the 6.
Can he kick the 1? Can he go to the end rail and come back at the 1 and play the 6?
It looks like what he's looking at, and, you know, I don't know if that's not the best play, really, if the safety is difficult.
Right.
He's got a good chance of making the hanging ball. But sometimes as players, we feel like we're making a bad decision to pass a good hit on the ball to kick at something, you know?
Yeah, it takes someone like Efren Reyes to recognize that just because you can hit it straight on, sometimes the kick has a better percentage attached. Yeah, I don't feel too bad about kicking this myself because the safety is difficult. And like you said, even if you get safe, you got to be careful that he can't kick something and dislodge the 6 into the side pocket from anywhere. Well, he's chosen this path. Yeah, that's not strong enough for Biado. That works with bad players. You can get away with it and get back to the table, but you're either going to get hurt on this shot or the next shot.
Double bank safety on the 1, maybe, to put it to the head rail.
He tried to draw it into the 3, and he's short.
Yeah, he let up on that stroke a good bit.
Yeah, he's not happy with that.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Carlo. He just pointed where he wanted the cue ball.
He wanted the audience to know that that was not what he was trying.
Well, just because the score is 8-8 doesn't always mean that the TPA is going to be the same. But in this case, look, 840 to 840. You can have a tied scoreline and have made more mistakes than your opponent.
Of course, he's going after this ball. Overcut it.
Well, he missed it on the pro side.
Yeah, he's not damaged by that miss.
The 2 doesn't even play in the corner nearest the cue ball here because it's frozen to the 10 and it's off-angled enough.
Yeah, Biado took a quick look to see if the 210 was dead in the far corner or could be made in the far corner because that might affect his decision here.
How would he get to it? Kick at the 10, the 2?
No.
I mean,
just
after he makes
wondering
this, if he made that, I mean, there wouldn't be a great way, but it's good to know for the future, I guess, is your point. Well, here he's got a chip on the 1 with a lot of side spin and dig go way long across the grain of the table. 1 rail behind the 7, 2, 10 area. I think we'll see him take his cue ball down there and try to chip this 1 ball to the head rail. There we go. Is it going to get behind the 210? Speed looks good.
Wow.
Outstanding. Oh, and how about let's just almost freeze him too.
tell you, I'd be thinking about that 210 if I was Carlo, because you don't want to leave a cheap run out, a combination of 210.
It's still going to be very hard to make. You have to fall on it back there, but then there's collision-induced throw, frozen balls.
No, what I'm saying,
gear
though,
action.
if you end up either giving a routine shot or ball in hand from here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, so you're saying, yeah, it pays to
Yeah,
hit this.
I would take a look at that. And the shot before, I was even thinking you could put the 3 right up on that junk and just give him a chance and make him play rather than this. Maybe sell out a good shot. And now it definitely plays.
Well, how nicely can he slow his cue ball down behind these balls if the 210 is, if it's even within a couple inches of being close, he can throw it one way or the other if he were to get behind it. However, I think the 7's in the way a little from the play off the 1, and he's got too much angle. He's looking at just going into the 7 maybe and getting the 2 loose.
Mm-hmm.
But he sure would like to be more near the center of the table where he could get behind that combination. That's the issue. Unfortunately, when you go into another ball that's not the lowest ball, you break them out, you don't always get rewarded.
Looks like he's got enough of the 2 that he can manipulate the cue ball. He might be able to just shoot the 2 ball to the center of the end rail down there.
Okay, yeah, if he could see that much of it, that's a great play.
Looks like it. Looks like he could.
Is he digging a little bit in the stroke? If that's the case, then maybe he can.
He's not going to like this unless he was playing
goodness.
that.
Oh, my goodness. Do you see what just happened?
Well, he was playing for that, but you don't see that shot very often.
That's something else.
Yeah, he went at that naked. He was willing to lose the game if he misses this. Most interesting.
I really thought he would thin the 2 into the 10 and zigzag the cue ball twice to the head rail. But he impressed me there.
Yeah, I don't. I think he might have been playing for the 6. I just don't think it's the right shot when he made it. And then he didn't cash it in when he took it. He did err on the side of aggression, though. I will say that. That's
I still
aggressive.
wonder if he was actually playing the 6 or if he thought that he could cut it into the 10 and use the 10 as a big ball blocker. Who knows? We'll never know.
Yeah, I doubt that he was really playing the 6. Yeah, that would be hyper aggressive, borderline suicidal, in fact.
Here's a case where he needs to use some high inside, which would be high left, and the 10 ball is on the left of the cue ball, so it makes this tougher. So we may see him just put it with a flat high stroke and see if he can force it out of there. It's in his mind, all ball fouls. You think that entered into play there, Mark?
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
And once again, trying to get into the end rail, slight overcut just inside the facing of the pocket, and it jarred out.
Things are heading the same exact direction it did with Appleton last night, where it looked like the senior player had the upper hand, then somehow it just wouldn't quite work out. It'd just be the edge of a ball blocked or something.
Well, this kid's going to get the reputation of a grinder. He battles. If he comes in and wins this match in dramatic fashion,
Wow.
they're going to say, man, that Gorst guy, he's something else. He really fights hard. And that's the way to endear yourself to a lot of the fans here.
Absolutely right.
To be able to get into a knockdown drag-out with players like, Biado and Darren Appleton and come out on top at 16, yeah, that's going to impress some fans. And maybe some sponsors.
Yeah, you let the cue ball go 3 inches too far. He was okay.
So here's the situation. We have to pick a side of the 10. Do you hit the ball with just a lag and you roll out above the 10, or do you hit it with inside and go between the 10 and the rail?
I could definitely go inside myself. Just because I want to get the cue ball work closer and I want a flatter angle into the corner pocket.
You're like me. I like position. I don't like to have to make tough shots. Well, where he just indicated is where he is likely to have a shot at the 9. He was seeing if he likes it from there. He'd either prefer, a little more angle on this 8 or angle into the rail to get out easily.
Good shot.
Yes, he hit it smoothly. He didn't try to cheat it too much, The young Russian Fedor Gorst is trying to shock the world. He's trying to shock the world and take off the Bigfoot challenge. Solid play like this, a couple more matches, he may do it. Oh, the whole room a collective moan. Like, oh no.
Yeah, after that series of balls, you can't just shoot it at the pocket. You really have to attack the heart of the pocket because it's easy to get a little general. I just need this to win. Yeah, he did strike that purely at all. And he gifts it to Carlo Biado, who is now on the hill to get on the hill at 9.
Isn't there something just a little more painful about missing the 10 ball than missing another ball? There's something about missing the 10 when you're, open
Well,
table.
I would say, yeah.
It's just, there's something that hurts a little more, digs a little deeper in your soul. Can't sleep at night missing the 10 ball.
91-76, that's the ball count. Significant amount of errors, though. Steve McDonald is now taking over the referee duties. He's our tournament director.
But he's Steve McDonald from Diamond.
Yeah. He hails from Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, Biado made a ball on the break. Looks like he's going to get blessed with a shot on the 1.
What's the 2 going to do? It's loose, so everything is great here for Carlo.
Yeah, this would be very painful if he was able to get the break and run out here to follow up the missed 10.
I think it's like the pool gods deem it a law. When I make a mistake and lose the game I should have just won, my opponent's going to follow up with a break and run. It's like just to dig a little deeper.
Yeah, just 2 strokes ago, it was going to be, look at this, the whole wrong side. Just 2 strokes ago, it was going to be 9-8 the other way. Now all of a sudden, it's looking like it could be 10-8. Yeah, Biado did not do himself any favors there. He's going to have to deal with the 9 ball. He's going to have to back cut a ball that's easy to hang from this angle. And particularly with the speed that you need to hit it.
In the end, does he just lay up on the 9 here and play a safety? That shot's a little delicate to judge sometimes.
No, I think he's going to play offense. And he figures if he gets tied up, he can kick and hit it.
Looks like he's made his decision for sure, and he'll be cutting back at this. I think he can kill the cue ball speed out. Watch this cue ball arc a little bit. Miss the 9.
I think he's going to brush the 9.
Do you?
Nope, you were right.
And he was able to kill the cue ball out there.
Very pure, too. The ball didn't flutter on the way into the pocket.
That's right. Now he can play this cue ball back between the 10 and the 9, catch the rail and come out. He'd like to get at least, 8, 10 inches off the rail on the 4. Because the 5 is across the table also. Looks like he's going inside English. Or am I wrong? Does he change it up? Yeah, he just faked me out a little bit. He sure looked inside. He did
way
crank
too
this
strong.
ball.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it speeds this off radically.
But look, it plays nicely to go, above the 8, the up table side of the 8.
Right.
Along the head string there and go, 2 cushions and straight down the long rail on the 5. 5 could even be played in the side from there. He's underhit it. Well, lucky for Biado, there are 6 pockets on this particular table.
Takes a long time here. Head lifted. Cruised it home, though.
You're always in a place of comfort when you have the optimum angle like you just had on the 6 in the side to slip over a little closer to your work on the 8. Now he's straight in here to be straight in on the 9. And
Right.
yeah, it's nice when it comes together like this in the end. And he drew the ball to play for the side, which I don't mind at all. I think it's a great play. I really like shooting balls at these sides rather than the corners where you can hang them, Rub that facing going in just a little, the rail a little early, and then the ball jars up.
Good chat. This is kind of similar to the one that he missed last night. It was just a little bit more difficult, but it was that bridge over the side pocket. See how long he takes? Much smoother in his backswing transition into the foreswing, though, than last night. Glides it in there. Biado now has 10. Gorst 8. Well, that 10 ball, that really hurt. Gorst missed to go ahead 9-8. Now finds himself behind 10-8.
It would be hard to go back home remembering that 10 ball and to go back to Russia and thinking about the 10 ball that you missed in the States.
Yeah.
To have a shot, get deep into the Bigfoot challenge.
Game 19, Biado breaking.
Seven and 8 both gone. What happens to the 1 though? What happens here? Open play. Well, I can tell you that I don't think twice about this shot. I like playing my cue ball with a drag stroke. A bottom left kill 2 rails out of the corner and circle the 2. Fall center table on the 2. Something about rolling this ball just a slow to medium speed, and then maybe even having to implement a touch of right touch. I prefer to, drag this ball like I think he is. He seemed cueing low and left. Allows me to hit the shot with a more comfortable stroke. I think that's why he's doing it. Yeah. Well, he even got a rub on the 5 there, but still dead perfect.
Try to draw it back a little bit. Did he overcook it?
Wow. With a bridge, no less. It's going to be okay. Problem with a cut like this is, yeah, he's pointing. Thanks for the tip there, Biado, right? He's got a point. That's the spot to be. But because of this, he's got to take up the slack in this cut. I don't know that he can just slow spin it out in center table and hold this. We may see him, because of the speed left in the cue ball, go between the 9 and the 6 and the 10, and then back out center table.
Right. Yeah, spinning that's really difficult because you're kind of spinning it and you're also jacked up. So if you can go just natural top spin here and play the speed, that's going to play much easier. He overcut it?
Yeah, he's getting a roll here. I mean, that's helpful. Or is it a roll? Because he's almost straight in on the 4. He has to go to the 5.
He recognizes it too.
Man, this game we love so much is very difficult, isn't it, Mark? Very hard game.
Very fickle. I'm pretty sure it's feminine.
Mm-hmm. La femme est mobile, is that what it is? Woman is fickle?
Yeah.
That song applies. I never thought we would talk about opera in the booth. Oh, pure and smooth. If it gets back past this, it's even better. Or short of this, that's fine too. You just don't want to be on top of that ball.
No way. Yeah, this is...
I mean, that's got to be my worst shot, having to be tree-topped over a ball.
Yeah.
And still hit it with an accurate stroke. On the 10-footer, no less, that's not a shot for me, Mark. That's a shot for you with you being 8 feet tall.
Right. It does help that you have long fingers and you're tall. Yep, overcut it.
Shade wide.
He's sick.
Here's your chance at greatness, kid.
Yeah. Biado was trying to make him pay the ultimate price there after he missed the 10 ball. A couple breaking runouts to close out the match.
What an exciting win this could be for him at an early part in his career if he's able to steal the set and just break and run and close out the set without Biado getting back.
All right. Yeah,
Now,
that'd be
I'm
amazing.
not cheering against Biado. I'm just cheering for good play. Our shot clock down to 4 now.
Well, he worked the cue ball close to the 6, and he doesn't have the perfect angle, but he can do a lot of different things here. He can kind of have his way with this shot. That's the advantage of being close. I was talking to a guy one time. He said Willie Mosconi was always within 1.5 feet of every object ball, no matter what the previous shot was. I didn't see it, but it might have been an exaggeration to some extent, but I imagine he was pretty effective. That's the only way you can be that consistent at running 100-ball runs. Doesn't really look like the 9 goes into the side pocket readily.
Right. It doesn't go in if it's got some pop behind it, some pace. No. It could easily rattle out. Well, that ball had some draw and some left on it, and because of that, he's way longer than he wanted to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Just draw, he's maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet closer. But that left, when they work together, can be a blessing or a curse.
Now this is the one you got to keep your head still, and you got to have the smooth transition and just commit. Body completely still. This will test your stroke mechanics. Even with good stroke mechanics, you might miss. Oh
Wow,
boy.
So pure.
Glassy
so
smooth.
Pure.
Glassy smooth transition.
Knowledgeable crowd. They understand the difficulty of that shot.
Very good. 10-9 our score.
Oh, I'm starting to get butterflies, Mark. I'm excited.
Yeah, Gorst definitely still here.
I don't have any skin in the game, but I'm excited for it. It's good. Let's see a double hill thriller.
It'd be fun to see a solid break and run out right here.
That's the old saying I remember from Sports Center. Stuart Scott, he's as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Right. Yeah, he definitely was on that 9-ball. Yeah, Biado, he's not all about seeing a break and run out. He doesn't think it'd be all that fun.
Mm-hmm.
Gorst trailing 9-10, but breaking. And 7-ball found its way into the side.
He had a good square hit, and the cue ball control looked like it was going to be pretty good, but he did get bumped down table. Well, there's no future in shooting this ball on the side. You can't control what happens in the chaos. You run into the 8, you run into the 4 maybe, and get all out of whack. So I expect a safety here. Unless he thinks that he can feather it in the side and hit the 8 full in the face. That's the only way that I could try to talk myself into shooting this. But if I don't feel that I can hit that 8 full in the face, it's just too risky.
And given the distance there, how the 1 attacks the pocket, it can make it in the pocket, but you can make it a bunch of different ways, and it'll hit thick or thin on the 8.
Yeah, and they both go bad.
He's not trying to pop
Playing it
the
off
1.
the 9?
Yeah, looks like it. He did try that.
Needs to hope for a roll then. Not simple work here for Biado. Or is it? Can he top this ball and come down around the 10 and the 8? Back down table.
Kind of feel like that was a hair too aggressive at this stage of the match.
I'm with you. I would agree. You know, if he's able to play this ball across the spot into the corner with top English and get it into the end rail down here, then he needs to shoot at this. If he has to do anything more than that, then I suggest safety, I would think. Yep.
Savvy veteran presence has emerged.
This guy knows things.
Yeah. Yeah. He's going to try to expose you to some risk here that you'd rather not have. He's trying to figure a way to play a shot, but he has to hit the 1 ball here. He may even have to kind of slightly masse to even hit the 1 here. Now he's considering just going up and down.
Yeah, he's in a briar patch here. He figures to be pretty vulnerable even making a hit, unless he gets the right connection and that 10-8 X right. Well, that's no good. Unfortunate. But he did all he could do there as he played the hit, and
Right.
it's up in the air sometimes as to whether or not you get a safety out of it.
There was a lot of things that could happen, but very few of them were good. And that was just the predicament he was in. It was the right shot. He did not give up ball in hand. But this is not much different than ball in hand either.
Well, Carlo Biado has got a lot of work to do here if he falls on the 2 still. You know, he needs to get the optimum angle on the 2 to get back to the 3. And I think he can do it from either side of the 2 angle. But even there, he's still going to have to deal with this 8 ball coming from the 6, and that's a tricky play as well.
Yeah, it's not easy to get back for the 3 here.
No. If he could draw this ball between the 5 ball and the side pocket, that would be great. I don't know if the the cue ball would arc enough in there to curve and change the line.
Looks to be the best of the bad circumstances here. He's not playing it that way. He's going to try to stun it and spin it down. Oh, great shot.
Hit it with power. Is it going to dance? Got there. Great play. Great play.
Well, he would have liked just another 6 inches there. He could really handle the cue ball now. It's thin enough. He might have to use the 9 as a blocker.
And it's a shot for a lefty.
No, good point. Could you tap in there, Scott, and make this one shot?
Yeah, I'm a lefty. I can tag.
There you go. Oh, he's not been all that nimble with the bridge throughout the last 2 days. Gonna cut the 3 in, try to land heavy in, or is he just stopping and playing a safe? Yep.
Watch the side. Ooh.
And left it out in space to minimize the approach.
I don't blame him there. I mean, shooting at that ball with a bridge, cutting it across the table a little bit like that, just one of those balls that could slip and hit the bottom rail and just, do a little dance right there, wipe its feet on the corner pocket, but not quite turn over.
Well, this looks like a 3-rail kick.
But in playing the safety, if young Gorst here kicks and hits this ball and gets safe back, then Biado may be kicking himself thinking, I should have played the ball.
Yeah.
It's always easy to second guess.
Oh, he played it 1 rail.
He hit it so full.
He did. He hit it good. This is the problem with the 1 rail kick, though, is that you can scratch off of that 3 ball quite often. You rarely get them on opposite ends of the table. But the fact that he hit it and didn't scratch, that makes it a good shot no matter how it turned out, because on the 5x10 and where the 3 was, anything that hits it is a good shot.
He's drawing his ball here. See the elevation? He'll follow through smoothly, at least 6 inches through the ball. Oh, he hit it with a stun.
Wow.
And did he get the correct bump?
He got a little bump that makes it awkward, but it was a great shot anyway. Just to get where he's this close to the 4.
I'm thinking, he's playing this ball to the corner now, when he could play it to the side, but there's no easy play there. To the corner, he's wide open. But if he plays it to the side, I feel like he's going to miss the 9 easily, but he may rub that backside of the side of the 10. So I like playing this in the corner and going 3 rails.
Yeah, right. The side pocket is out.
Yeah, you go 3 rails up table side of the 6 ball up there, and then back for the 5 in the side.
The complexity of trying
3
to play
rails
it
and he's missed the ball.
Yeah. The complexity of playing it in the side, there was so much clutter and so many things that could go awry with that, where this had, while it's tough, it's not impossible. Gorst comes to the table now, a chance to tie this match up. Play 1 ultimate rack.
He's going to be the talk of the town if he wins 2 double hill thrillers over, Appleton and Biado.
I think the match last night was 11-9, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh, trouble.
Well, now he has to become a sharpshooter and spear one in from way back.
I'm not even sure where he was. I don't think he intended to go there. If anything, you might try for the 10, but that was too aggressive.
I think he was trying to cut the balls off and go closer to the side pocket and then back out.
Yeah,
5 in the side.
Yeah.
Now he's got to be a sharpshooter, spear one in like Robin Hood, and go across the table with a low right, way across the table, and then spin back in for the 6.
Well, he made a shot like this last night that was unbelievable from long range, and the inside spin low and come around 3 rails. He ended up scratching, I believe, or not getting out. Look at that good shot.
He drew his ball with a flat ball without any right.
Yeah, he cinched it, and that was a great shot. Doesn't mean that this next ball is easy, but
No.
it's certainly easier than what he just did.
I used to try to have a rule when I played. I didn't ever want to have to come with 2 tester shots in a row. 2 very difficult shots in a row. And in my opinion, this is very sketchy for me. At least if I got back center table,
Yeah.
I consider it reasonable.
Yeah.
But I think because of that, I would have played to the other side of the side pocket where he hit by hitting it harder with a stun right, and then tried to get back at least back center table a little beyond to fall back in line.
Good shot there.
But then again, I'm not the guy playing on the 10-footer
No.
threatening to upset Carlo Biado.
What a nice shot that was to follow up. So that's 2 consecutive really good shots. He's still got another one in front of him.
Slight angle towards the 10. So I don't know that we'll see him risk going forward on this and rolling up. This is one that people tend to like to hit with a little pop. It's done across the grain of the table for the 9 in the same pocket. Yes.
You'd rather it didn't get lodged on the rail. And it didn't. He has a hint of an angle.
I don't know if it appears to be enough to get back out center table or if he just rolls up on the
Play it
back
in the
side
side.
of
Yeah.
the 10.
Yeah, just play it in the side. I would just roll it in.
He indicated the 10 ball in the far side,
Yeah.
by driving through the ball and playing.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Oh, he's
gotcha.
jacking up. Yeah, I would play the 10 ball back in the side pocket by us.
Oh, he had sufficient angle to move.
Okay. Yeah, but he wiggled it on the way in, too.
Yeah.
He hit the thin side of the pocket with that. Not going to miss this 10 ball. I can see the way he's locking in on it. And he drains it.
Do your
10-10.
thing, big man.
Yeah.
Come to the States and show out a little bit.
Hey, you definitely hear a little energy and buzz in the room now, that's for sure. There's our TPAs.
23 different ball difference in the balls pocketed, yet Gorst leads. That bucks the trend,
It
doesn't
does.
it, Mark?
No, it will occasionally happen, but it's a pretty safe bet. Both players have been successful, 8 out of 10 breaks. That's a good standard.
We got hill-to-hill action. Somebody's got to go. Give these guys a hand.
Well, when you're in the Philippines, they declare decision game. Gorst on the hill and breaking. Biado also on the hill. $4,000 rack right here in front of us. Very
Look at the
square
cue ball
hit.
control.
10 ball does not win on the break, and just in case, thought I'd mention that.
Oh my goodness, and look at the layup for Biado to come to the table. That was one of his best breaks as far as squareness of hit and power.
Absolutely
He
right.
parked the cue ball and nothing. Biado is a little straight on this one ball, so because of that, he's probably going to end up having to cut the 2 across the, a little back cut here and double the cushions for position on the 3. Once that 2 is down, everything looks pretty good. I really like it.
Gorst really made a good out to that last rack to get to the hill. He had to put a lot of fight into that one.
He did, and win or lose this match, he's only going to get stronger. He's only going to get stronger, and he's going to learn from this for sure, win or lose.
He missed the 10 ball just a few racks ago. That would have really provided some margin for him. Carlo hit the wrong side of the pocket with that. He can still defend himself.
The 4 ball becomes big here if he's looking to the safety. You see if he zigzags twice across the table, you know, to try to get in behind over near the 9. That's a great play.
Mm-hmm.
What a deft, touch there.
Wow. Yeah, he has the upper hand in the ball arrangement here for sure. So typical of the Filipino players, too. The 4-ball's a problem for Americans. The 4-ball's not a problem for the Filipinos on the previous shot.
So many people, they try to go long of the 4 and they end up overspinning it and they scratch in the corner up here, He just went right by the 4 and played it at the safe part of the rail. Wow. It pays to hit them, folks. It pays to hit them. Don't give up ball in hand out there if you're an aspiring player.
These are these little exchanges that the elite players come out of and the good players fail on. This is where you really have to fight this end rail to end rail type of thing. Because you start so many innings from here.
And it's the little things where you steal matches.
Right. Right.
So many people get upset when their opponent misses a ball, but then hooks them or safeties them. They want to be left straight in when their opponent misses a ball, but it's not always that way. You have to come out of the difficult spots.
Man, what a good shot that was. What a good shot that was.
Appreciative crowd.
There was some risk there because it could have gone into the drink. It was that he was not in total control, but percentage-wise, what a great play this was.
So this has gotten interesting. I see a couple of Filipino players here in attendance watching now. Lee Van Corteza has come around to watch his buddy, Carlo Biado.
All right, Biado comes to the table, ball in hand. Boy, things are really lining up for Biado to be able to run this rack. The balls look pretty manageable. One thing I'd like to mention is that while you're sitting in the chair like Gorst is, you can't say, oh boy, I hope he misses. You need to spend your energy saying, when I get my turn at the table, I'm going to run out no matter what type of difficult shot he leaves me, so that you're really in the right mental framework to go ahead and win the match from here, despite the fact it does look gruesome right now. But so many different things change along the way, and then if you say, oh boy, I got a chance, and I hadn't been thinking about it, I thought I might lose, then you're not really ready. You're not prepared to go ahead and make a tough shot to win the match, steal the match. Where you see a lot of American players get real defeated and start showing signs of, oh, I'm unlucky or whatever it might be.
I don't see any difficulty, but if anything could creep up and bite Carlo Biado here, maybe it's the 8 to the 9, the 9 to the 10. Let's say he plays the 8 and gets too much angle on the 9 and has maybe double the cushions. But I just don't think it's in the cards. Now he may have to go down table and back.
Well, you see what I'm saying? Because we've seen him miss a couple of real routine shots. It could crop up at any time because he's definitely not his A game. So there's every likelihood that he doesn't get out. Max pressure here. You've seen it, I've seen it. If he gets out, well, it's out of your control anyway, but you're still in the game. Just don't mentally quit. Good shot.
He would like to, when he comes up to the 9 ball, be able to play fairly straight on the 9 so as to lay down the cue ball there and then shoot the 10 to the other corner. However, he doesn't want to risk getting so straight at the 9 that he ends up partially hidden behind the 10 when shooting the 9. So because of that, maybe he gets a bigger angle on the 9 and has a little work to do. You know, Gorst is pulling for that to happen.
Well, he appears to have overrun the mark coming across. He got a little straight. Gonna have to use his extension on his cue. And once again, his bridge hand is at the joint. Oh boy.
He's done a great job of falling straight on this 9. That's pretty good. That's very good. Now he's easily going to be able to lay the cue ball down and play the 10 to this corner down here for the win.
Yeah, that was really nice to get that cue ball lodged up where it's at now.
He really laid it down nicely.
Match ball on its way. Biado delighted.
He's glad this one's over.
Yeah.
And he played very well, and so did the young Russian. I mean, I'm glad to see this. Glad to see this great, great match. What an exciting match.
A lot of energy in the room. This has been an Accu-Stats video production. Any rebroadcast or republication without Accu-Stats express written permission is prohibited. That's all from here. Thank you for joining us, and drive safe on the way home.
The future of billiards training is here. Introducing the DigiCue, a small electronic coach that fits inside of a custom rubber housing and attaches to the butt end of any pool, snooker, or carom cue. Simply slide the DigiCue onto the butt end of your cue, push the power button, and then play the game of your choice. The DigiCue constantly monitors your stroke for inconsistencies and gives you immediate feedback by silently vibrating when it detects jab strokes, steering, body English or movement, standing up during your stroke. The DigiCue will force you to bear down on every shot. It will condition you to keep your head and body still during your follow-through, leading to a lasting improvement in the consistency of your stroke. The DigiCue comes in 3 different modes: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Get serious about your game. This is cue training evolved. Can you beat the DigiCue?
Introducing Lucasi Hybrid, a whole new level of performance and technology. A cue with the revolutionary X-Shocks dampening system, eliminating vibration. G5 grip technology for enhanced traction and stability results in maximum cue control. Total sweet spot construction means unmatched power. And the Zero Flex Point ferrule provides dead-on accuracy, giving you the confidence you need in every shot. Lucasi Hybrid, the only cue that matters.